Hello everyone, Connor here. Just as a small disclaimer, some things we may talk about on the pod shouldn't be attempted or recreated. Remember to keep everything legal, keep it between the ages, and don't tear up the ground while you're on the pull. Fuck you do so many sound effects now.
That's all I do. We were in sight one time and a fella once said to me, no, I've been doing sound effects for years. We were in sight one time and a fella once turned around and said to me, I was torquing at something and I was grunting and he goes, do you want me to do the grunting for you and take a bit of work off your shoulders? And I was just like, that's a really fucking good insult.
And you know what else it really is? A little bit of a... Hello folks, what's the crack? You're listening to the Agri Automotive Podcast, brought to you by Limited Slip Differences, where we chat all things cars to cars. If Michael would shut up, I would maybe get into this. So yes, that is Michael, and I am Connor. And today we are on episode
33, because you forgot, didn't you?
I don't. Oh yeah, well maybe I did. Yeah, so we haven't recorded in a long time. Long time. Banked up a couple of episodes there during the Easter period. Don't need to look at my phone anymore, for that's not giving me any new information, to be honest. So we haven't recorded, and
it does feel like, I think the last time we recorded was with our guest of this episode. Whenever we recorded with Scott, and that was Easter Monday. So that's probably 2 weeks ago. And
that even took a fucking lifetime record.
Yeah, like that was that. Like this is going to be a long episode. We have so much shit to get through.
We do surely.
Probably the biggest podcast guest, like in terms of followers,
that we've ever had on.
Yeah, and we didn't even get to have the full conversation.
No, it was
There's
very rushed.
So much more, but we'll talk about that in a bit. And your phone's just dinging.
Anyway, to be fair, I think. So yes, we'll talk about what's new in a wee second. But I think to begin with, so whenever you guys hear this, it'll probably be Braving Isle news by that stage.
Probably nearly 3 weeks by this stage.
But a big event, a big negative event happened there a week ago now, is it?
Tuesday, so last Tuesday.
So basically,
we're recording this on Monday the 15th of April, so...
Unless you've been living under a rock, Drift Games, their whole place went on fire, unfortunately. And I'm sure you're aware, like, if it happened to anybody, it would be the biggest disaster in the world. But the one thing I would definitely want to say is, and they're recording this tonight, that they've released a video to say, look, this is the crack that's happened since. And essentially, whatever you do, please don't stop, because I know for one thing, like, I've been following them since the time whenever they
years at this point, like
Gulf GTA, and they were going out to the Middle East and they were doing videos and that.
Yeah.
But
even when they were still like running the ADC and all, whenever kind of like
Heroes for the weekend.
Yeah, like we're not talking yesterday, like.
So, like, essentially, like, I've been religiously watching them every video they ever come out with, and great entertainment, unbelievable quality of videos, and I suppose they're one of the, what would you say?
Well, they're one of our, to be honest, like,
influential factors to us doing this.
Definitely.
But as well as one thing, they ran a lot of events like the LZ World Tour or the LZ Festival, or LZ Fest as we all called it.
Yeah, LZ Fest, yeah.
And if they hadn't run that there, sure, like, we wouldn't have met Jimmy Oakes.
Literally, we're sitting chatting in the hotel to Jimmy Oakes.
Even in the nightclub, enjoying the crack.
Like, got the chance to meet Larry Chen. Larry Chen now follows me back on Instagram over the head of like Drift Games having that event and getting to meet him. Like, personal, like, thing for me. Like, but
like, essentially, if it wasn't for Dave being such a visionary, like, you know, the Irish car scene basically wouldn't be on the map just maybe as well.
Definitely the whole drifting has been a thing in Ireland since probably 2002. Like, you know, that's when it first come in, but it had been the likes of those guys like pushing it. You know, Dave's been involved with that for how long? Like, at this point, probably 15 years. So like, he's the one that's pushed like that to international level. Like, the Irish have always been good at drifting. They made it known to the world that the Irish were good at drifting.
Like, sure, the very first event he brought, you know, all the international drivers, they sort of laughed him out of the park for the sort of the big ideas he came up with.
Yeah.
But all the big ideas worked out, and I know they've always had their ups and downs, and I know they're having probably the biggest down that anybody could ever face.
Correct.
But by God, definitely don't give up.
Yeah.
And I hope to God, whenever this comes out, they've got more positive.
Some.
They probably don't listen to us, but still at the same time.
Still have to, I suppose, do our bit. Moving on from that, I suppose, kind of sad segment there.
Yeah, definitely, yes. I am actually shaking with being cold, and it's.
I'm not too bad at the minute.
It's very wet outside, and we
just because it hasn't stopped raining since what, like, right, Saturday night at Donegal Rally. I think I've said this probably in like the last tape of podcast. Saturday night at the Donegal Rally, we were sitting in the traffic coming back into the town, and literally the skies broke with this almighty thunderstorm. I think it was the 16th of June, and it has just fucking rained ever since. I think we've had maybe 3 dry days this year, like where there hasn't been some form of rain, and even days where it sort of has been dry enough during the day. It's pissed down at night time. So
like you've like, I woke up in the morning, it's like, oh, today's maybe going to be a great day, and then it gets about 4:30, 5 o'clock, and then the heavens open. So any drying that there was during the day is just
still literally can't get any fertilizer out. Like,
well, we had to get a quad. Shout out to Connor McLaren. We sowed all the grazing ground and all the silage ground. All the silage ground with.
You're not the only one getting boys in the quads on at the minute, like, but even at that, like, mine's is that wet, the quad would just get stuck because it's so wet here, like well, I'm still looking in our ground, literally lying in water, like.
And I know Tom Pemberton, he went on to BBC News or some of them programmes anyway, and was like, we think we're bad. His father's digging holes to try and find drains to let the water away. So there's wee lakes in his fields. Jesus. Because all his ground is very flat.
Yes.
So the water's got nowhere to go. Like.
Oh, aye. Right enough.
It's bad enough if you live in a hill and all that. Technically, obviously, gravity, the water's going to run down somewhere. He's in.
Well, that's why our drain's not draining, because we're in the Bann Valley here. So like all our drains here run to the Bann. If the Bann's sitting high, that water can't get away. So what happens? It backlogs. Hence why if you go down like the main road there and you look under my fields, you will literally see either like a line of rushes across where the drain is, or still, as I say, parts of the field lying in water.
Yeah. Excuse me. But yes, so the weather
is shite.
What happened Drift Games?
Is also shite, yeah. What wasn't so shite was the port.
On Easter Sunday?
Yeah. It was like, what, one of 3 dry days this year?
They actually got brilliant weather.
They got such good weather for it. And to be fair, when I was in Port Stewart, I didn't go to Port Rush at all. Me and herself went for food, and then decided to just head on her. Like, literally, so we'd interviewed the Tasty and Dubshed lads the day before. Yeah. Me and Becca were literally walking down Port Stewart Main Street, and literally, who walks straight out of Bob and Birch right in front of us? Dean himself. And I was just like, well, it's yourself. And then next thing, out walks the woman, and then Nathan follows as well. And it's like, all right, how are we getting on? Long time no see. So actually, it's really funny. What they do is, me and Becca decided we'd go for a walk and do a bit of car spotting and all first, and bumped into a few others around there. What Nathan and Dion do is they have the Tasty and Dubshed number plates. So they explained this on the podcast to us, but then I seen them doing it at the port, and it's actually hilarious. So like literally, Dion sits there with a Tasty number plate, and Nathan sits with a Dubshed one. And then if something nice drives by, Dion flips up the Tasty, and if something like a bit rash goes by, Nathan flips up the Dubshed.
What happens if one flips up Tasty and the other flips up Dubshed?
It just happens.
Did it happen?
Yeah.
Oh,
and then next thing, the police went by, and Nathan just went whoosh, the Dubshed. And then at one point, Nathan had to go and he was like, "Oh, I'll get my car." So I decided to take.
Obviously,
Nathan.
You were like, "I need to get in this."
So then it was me and Dion I was doing there's a video of it. So there was me now throwing up the Dubshed people, and I was like, "Am I going to get pelted here?" But no, people thought it was hilarious. Like, people were laughing. I'm sure there's someone whose ego's probably bust from doing that, but it was fucking hilarious. Like, it was a good day. We were about for absolutely ages, just the way things were. And standard of cars this year, to be fair, was really, really good. Like,
well, from social media, all the everybody was basically saying it was just a great day out.
Yeah.
Everybody seemed to enjoy themselves. I never heard of any wrecking going on at it.
Not at the port, no.
Which as we spoke last year, like, there's a time and a place, like,
correct.
But it's nice to just be able to go down and appreciate all the nice stuff about it.
Just a bit of a sore point that, you know, it's hard to get an MOT date at the minute, and yet the MOT centre can just be opened and people can take like 13 cars in 1 hour and put them up in the ramps and test them and all that there, you know, and you know.
We all know our feelings about that.
It's pretty fucking convenient, isn't it? Like, that shit fucks me off. Like, you know, at the same time, I get it. Like, don't go down if you're not legal, like, to be fair. But at the same time, also, kind of, folks, be aware of what's going on here. Like, no one can get an MOT date. You literally go on to book an MOT and it just says no dates available, and you're like, right.
Well, I know Gemma there, she's up in April, or well, up this month, and she's booked in for August.
I'm surprised she even got it.
She booked a while ago.
Fucking hell. It is criminal in the minute, like, it is diabolical. But yeah, no, the Port was a good day. Then the week after, Dubshed. You got a cough, have you?
No, I'm trying to clear my throat.
Alright. Dubshed. So I done Dubshed for both days. Had to get the car trailered up in the end. Cheers, Matthew, for doing that.
Oh my god. So as you know, long-term listeners, because I suppose it's been mentioned that much, would know obviously that you have took the hydraulics out of the Sierra and you went for coilovers.
Yes.
So the coilovers you went for, so probably about half an hour was spent, right, so you got them set up to whatever way, because we're just rehashing the same crap.
Yeah, of course.
And you eventually got her off blocks with multiple jacks.
Yep.
Multiple amounts of fucking about. But you eventually got her off.
It's bollocks.
You tried to drive her out of the shed. Now we're talking about something with a 5mm lip into the shed, and it was touch and go. Well, she was going out. Now the driver's side rear wheel was essentially aired out.
Now the passenger side's doing that. No, not aired out.
You had to raise her like 50mm just to get the driver's side out, and then the passenger side wasn't touched, and it was high as a kite.
It was like the same height as what I had to raise up the driver's side, and now the passenger side just went vadunk, and I'm like, right,
that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
so there must be something badly wrong.
Yeah,
you know.
I would say them coilovers are just like, I'm going to hold on to them and get them redone at some point, because hey, like, at the end of the day, they're Sierra coilovers. They're dear enough to buy new. Although apparently Avos now went out of business, so.
That's no use.
If they would get back to me, I'm chatting to BCs at the minute, and I was told last week, oh yeah, we're going to come through. We'll get you a lead time and a price, but still waiting. So look, here they're probably busy. So, but yeah, Dubshed, back to roll back. It's always good, but the Sunday's always a really long day. Just
Saturday, I got down.
Saturday was a really good day. Really good day. Saturday was a really good day, because by the time you get everything cleaned, you run about, you start cleaning everything, and then you end up talking to a lot of people.
We didn't move away from your car to 2 o'clock.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So I met you and we drove down, and it was probably just after 10 o'clock.
Yeah, about 10:30 we landed in.
I got in through the door, bumped into Jack and Amy, chatted and bantered with them. Jack wasn't sure whether he's put the numbers up in the the wee small windows in the back of the GTR.
Yep.
And then moved on up to yourself. But with obviously you're going to chat about your own car and your own experience, but quality of cars on it was deadly.
Oh, aye. Definitely.
Like, again, on a more positive note, Drift Games had some outfit at it.
Yeah.
And John, I know something, I could have cried for Adam for that MX-5.
It was sitting really well.
Complete.
Their stand was absolutely phenomenal. And it's a shame, knowing what we know now, that we couldn't sit and just talk about like how good, like the Lamborghini, say what you want about it, at the end of the day, it's a fucking Liberty Walk drift car. Like, it's cool. Like,
it's a 2JZ.
It's a 2JZ Lamborghini. Like, it is cool. Like, you know, the Corvette, I would take the Corvette over the Lambo personally. Well, I would have taken the Corvette over the Lambo, I guess. Like, but they had such a tasteful. They pulled out all the stops, and like Adam was chatting to Adam for a bit, and he like showed me in around about the lorry and stuff like as well on the Sunday morning when there wasn't that many people about, and like even some of the ideas it gave me, like with the big lorry and all, it was cool. Not that I'm gonna go and get a lorry, but you know, for stands and stuff like
the
that.
Fiat
There
might be able to pull something.
Like, so it's like, you know, to see all that and then knowing now what we know, it's kind of a bit bittersweet. Like,
all I can say is when I seen the video on, I think it was Wednesday evening they released it, or else Thursday evening.
Yeah.
To say I didn't cry was an understatement.
Aye, fuck it. I don't normally cry, like, but Jesus, like, even Becca was like, that would make you teary, like, and I was like,
well,
yeah.
You know, me and Gemma's gone out a brave many years now, and like, she has seen a brave lot of videos and been tortured before we watch a film. I'm watching, you know, the video or whatever, and again, like, she was on the phone to me because she was way down home at that time. She was like, this is mad, and like, she was like, you know, I can't even believe that she was like wearing her own Drift Games t-shirt at the time, and it definitely struck a chord in her
we
too.
forgot to bring this up on the first time we talked about this. Do you know what's even more bittersweet is the fact that me and you actually got to go to that unit.
That's right. Yeah. I wish I had took more photos, and
well, I have a few because I took a lot of photos the first time I was down, because I've been down.
It was a spectacle to behold, like.
And hey, the fact that Cian spent a solid hour and a half just chatting shit with me and you. And we literally sat and talked about the podcast to him, and it's not like he turned around and just went, oh yeah, whatever lads, like, whatever you think. Like, he literally was like, well, have you thought about this? Have you tried this? You know, what about this? You know, you should consider this. It wasn't like he was just trying to palm us off. Like, it was proper, like, he was engaging with us.
Oh, completely,
you know? Yeah. Stuff like that means a lot.
Oh, it shows how humane they are.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And the first time you were down, you were speaking to Dave for a good while too.
Yeah, I was speaking to Dave. There's a video. I never made it to air because the sound quality was shite, but yeah, there's a video. I have an interview of Dave asking him, like, between the red and the grey, like the Spirit Ray and the red one that they raffled off, like, asking which one he'd rather have. Yeah.
But anyway, Michael, your time at Dubshed, how'd you find it?
Oh, I love Dubshed. Like, I know, like, I'm kind of like torn, because I'm sort of kind of like Donegal rally, rash driving, etc., all that caper. But I love Dubshed, and I do enjoy car shows, but I love Dubshed. Dubshed's like the first big show of the year. It's indoors. There's always a nice wee buzz when you get indoors. Like,
for me, it is the only show that sort of compares to a show in England, like at Telford's International Centre.
I would agree. Now, to be fair, my car wouldn't have been ready. It wasn't ready the week beforehand for Stephen's show. But we done it last year, and it was a good day out as well. But Dubshed, just with being indoor and all that, there's a bit of prestige with that.
It's like the Balmoral show for the cultural side of things.
And you know, you get in, and then you can't see, like, all your mates, like, you know, like the Limitless ones, like, you know, the Hoodie and all that. You know, Jack, Nick, you know, Cameron, Reese, Pierce, etc. Like, everybody's in. Like, I was parked beside Paddy Higgins. You know, I've known Paddy Higgins for what, fucking 10 plus years at this point. You know, seen him even from, pardon me, the days whenever he was floating about in the Bora and all that, like, or the Gulf, whatever. Is it him or Ryan Borland had the Bora? Anyway, they came to one of our shows in 2014 with the MCN stand. So I've been speaking to Paddy's years. So even parked up beside him, like, it's nice to kind of have that. And as I say, you look around the hall and you see everybody, and it's like, oh, there's Jack's car. Oh, look, there's Cameron's car. Look, Pierce's car out Reese. You know, the Civic. That was meant, like,
it is
you know,
deadly looking.
Chris, you go into the dub hall and Chris is there, Derek's there, etc. You know, it's nice to see all that, and it's nice to feel kind of part of that, and I enjoy that, because always at the start of the year you get a real nice buzz off that. And as the year kind of goes on, you know, I don't want to say you can take or leave it, because I'm not going to run down all our shows, but there's just always something about Dubshed. Like, you know, I to be honest, I think you'll always, if you're into the cars and you're into that show side of things, you'll always kind of try and push something there. I think I'll always, as long as I'm have the time to be invested in shows, I'll always be wanting to do something for Dubshed. Like,
well, there's not many shows that attracts people not from far and wide in Ireland, but also from the UK and you know, Scotland, England and Wales.
There's always a good Scottish crowd comes to Dubshed as well. Like,
and the other thing I definitely noticed, and their video on it was brilliant, was the Rash Man.
Oh, I said, yeah. That's that,
like
that could happen.
Oh well, that's
that could happen. That could happen.
That will be rash.
That would be good. That'd be good. Their video was fucking hilarious. It was so funny. At the start, I was kind of like, with the rash man, I was kind of like, because I seen obviously the video down the port, and then I kind of get a bit defensive because I was like, you're taking the piss out of our audience. Like, reality is, like, a lot of the boys there saying, oh, you know, you're fucking D-Turbo, sir, and all this here. They're the boys that genuinely listen to us. So I'm kind of sitting there going like, hey boys, careful now, like, don't be at it. You know, I kind of feel obliged to, no, sure, just to get a bit protective of the audience. But then you watch their video and it's fucking hilarious. So, you know.
So another big thing happened to you, Michael.
Did it?
Yes.
What?
I've been at you for years. So you've been
I know what you're gonna say now.
Aye, right. So Dubshed here, or sorry, Michael's acting dubious for some reason. So for years I went on, lad, the Fiat, yes, great tractor.
Bearing in mind this is the third time you've said this because I had to roll it twice, and I genuinely had forgot about what we were talking about until I caught on there now.
I lost sleep over the fucking head of this.
Yeah, this mattered to you a lot more than it mattered to me.
That's because, like, you know, I appreciate the small things in life.
I'm eating my words.
Why?
So, continue, and I'll say after.
Anyway, long story short, you've had the Fiat 6 years.
Yeah, 2018.
So, first thing I can mind, whenever I seen the Fiat the first time, I was like, lad, sunroof's broke. And bearing in mind, I don't think I've ever seen a Fiat with a sunroof down. Until I seen yours. Anyway, so we went, and you rang me and he said, right, I'm going to lift the tractor tonight. Considering that I had took the tractor up there, I suppose it would only nice that I be there to see the tractor come back.
Well, Matthew only messaged me that night going, hey, I'll have this thing ready for you tonight if you want to come up and lift it. And I went, fuck it, let's go.
Yeah. And we arrived there, and you were like, oh, he's fixing the sunroof. No, that air carry on. I was like, yeah, it's grand, 100%. And then I was like, oh, here, I thought I might as well just, you know, have this welded and sorted for you. And see, every time your fucking mouth opened, it was, oh, I have all them bolts too. I have all this here. Don't worry, I'll get that sorted. I felt like slapping you in the fucking mouth.
I was just trying to be helpful.
Sometimes you need to shut up.
Sorry, Matthew, for trying to be helpful.
It's like, oh, have you got M8 bolts? I have M8 bolts too.
But I have loads of them.
I know. That's information that we don't need to know. He was like, I'm providing a service here, just shut up. Anyway, so long story short, Fiat sunroof was fixed. It was too fucking cold in the way home to have it on for too long. But since then,
I went to McCann's on in the tractor on Wednesday. Just simply to I was going to say hadn't driven away. I had literally driven it for what the guts of about 40 fucking mile the night before, and probably not as much as that, more like 30. But
it felt like 40.
Yeah,
felt like fucking 60.
Yeah,
it took an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah, long enough oil track. And I was like, I kind of want to hear it again. So then I put up the video of it, but like the sunroof open, there's some snarl off it now. Like it sounds absolutely.
Are you happy you've done that?
Well, just when we talk about the snarl, I forgot about this as well. So
you forget about a lot of things.
Yeah, always happens when we're recording. So do you remember Mary had like a
little lamb?
No, like. Remember the exhaust? You know, it was like basically tied on with like steel wire. Did you ever notice that? You know, it rattled like absolute fuck.
Yes, believe me, I noticed that.
Right. Well, I decided I was going to try.
I just assumed you buy scrap, so I just assumed that was just part of it.
I decided I was going to try and fix it.
Like
and then I went, no, I'll just pull it off. So I pulled the muffler off.
I hope you didn't pull it off too hard.
Well, now I've just got a straight pipe. It's just literally a pipe comes out. Proud Mary's now become Loud Mary. That thing is fucking ignorant. You start her up now and it's just literally, I literally need earmuffs for this thing, like. So I'm going to have to weld I'm going to sort it out myself and weld the muffler back on, like I'm going to have to, because it would fucking deafen you.
Aye, and the other thing that was a nice thing to be told to you. So one of the first things Matthew said to you anyway was, here, sir, if I had the money I'd buy her off you. And you were like, out of curiosity, why? And then he was like, I think's well at herself. And I was like, I knew it. I'm telling you, she's 121.
She's a good hitting thing, like.
She's, you know.
She's a good hitting thing.
she's definitely getting a good amount of diesel through her.
Aye.
And on that note, just before we go any further, we have an apology to make.
We do have an apology to make. So you're absolutely right.
We said in a statement, I know...
Two podcasts ago, so episode 31, She's No D-Turbo.
Yes.
What did you say, Connor?
So basically, now, I'll say why I said it to begin with.
Yeah.
So, a video I had seen a couple of years ago, maybe only last year. So, Officially Gassed, I had watched them.
Probably it's a couple of years ago.
Well, I watched Officially Gassed. He's fella Jamie and does videos over in England, but it's all like mental horsepower stuff.
Yeah.
And one of them was a 600 brake PD 130 Ibiza.
Yes.
Pile of work done to it. And if I can mind right now, if I watch the video and it doesn't say that, I look like a right spanner.
Mm-hmm.
And it essentially said the thing was so smoky because it was an 8 valve PD 130. It would melt the pistons if he didn't have as much diesel going to it.
Mm-hmm.
But it turns out,
for an indirect ignition engine anyway, so an IDA, like a mechanical injection pump, like the likes of an XUD D-turbo engine, that's apparently completely wrong.
It turns out that
we're
the more smoke, the quicker she'll melt herself.
Aye, so apparently basically it gets too dirty and destroys it. So we're in a group chat with the tractor puller boys, and Alistair Cook took great delight in pointing out to us, what he said was, can I report you for spreading false information? And I was like, what? And he was like, you're saying that you add more diesel. He's like to help more power. He goes, you add more diesel. He goes, you're going to destroy an engine. And I was like, wait, what? Which it does make sense to an extent. He was like,
Nathan even said he put bigger injectors in the Passat and she ended up doing the engine herself.
So you basically, she ends up ruining herself, gets dirty and basically ruins herself. And he was like, can you please correct yourself and say, no, don't add fuck tons of diesel to your engine when you want to make it go fast, otherwise there'll not be a good D-turbo engine left in the country. And I was like, Alistair, I really think you overestimate our reach here. But
here, if it's reaching Alistair, that's one thing.
Well,
thank you very much for listening.
He follows it, to be fair. So, yeah.
And then Alistair said that if he could make Big Blue run with no smoke, that he would.
I wanted to land over to his shed and slap him across the beak when he said that. I
didn't want to do that because I'm not violent. I
literally was just like, are you fucking serious? He was saying apparently all the big tuning with smoke come from the D8 dozers or something back in the day. He says, and boys would tune them away on up and they were really smoky, so everybody thought, oh yeah, loads of smoke, more power, which is literally what we were thinking. But apparently the real art of diesel tuning is making power with no smoke. Now I did notice a video of a Chevy Nova there recently on a drag strip with a Cummins 6BT engine, and there was no smoke out of her at all, and everyone was saying, Jesus, it takes a lot of work to make that run clean, especially it's mechanical as well, so yeah, so this whole idea of you needing power and smokes kind of goes together, well, apparently not, and we're wrong. So next time we try to do an in-depth topic on something, we'll maybe have to do a bit more research.
If it's diesel tuning, we will consult Mr. Cook.
Yeah, that's probably a better idea, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Connor, speaking of diesel, probably finally a good time to move on to this week's guest.
A man that loves to not pay for his diesel.
A man that loves making his own diesel out of waste oil. We're talking about none other than Scotty Farrington.
Or Scotty Ferno on TikTok.
Absolute legend.
Oh, gentleman.
Do you know what? Such a nice lad. It kind of frustrates me a bit with this because this episode, obviously, when we had him on, Scotty had a boat to catch.
He did.
And we did have to rush it. And bearing in mind, I think we still talked for the guts of an hour 20.
Aye, that's rushed with us.
And that was rushed. We didn't even get a chance to talk about Ukraine.
We literally just scratched the surface.
And he's all on for coming on a second time. So
that was as big a compliment as we will ever receive.
Compliment. So we're going to stop bigging ourselves up now and patting ourselves in the back, because realistically, anyone listening to this, if you're new, you probably don't care about us. So we'll just flip over till where we start chatting with Scotty. So
where Michael is enjoying himself, I am hungover, and Scotty is also hungover.
In 3, 2, 1.
One thing you'd probably be interested in, and this is something that people use, like the waste oil that I do, right? Because for the cars you do like a 10% petrol mix. Well, what you can do is do like 30 to 40% petrol mix, right?
Yes.
You get like a wood burner.
Yes.
And you put a pot in the wood burner, and you have a big bucket filled with your waste oil mixed with petrol, right? And you run the pipe going down into the burner, and you have a tap, and it's a drip heater. So it just drips into the pot, so it doesn't fucking flood it, and it's free heating, because you fucking don't pay for waste oil, do you?
No. Yeah, Jesus, we know enough mechanics.
They'll warm this up like.
We know enough mechanics that you could get that off for free. Well, that's probably a good way to get this started. Anything else? Ladies and gentlemen, we've finally managed to get him after a lot of talking. We've finally got Scott Farrington on the podcast. So
all right,
this is a fucking big moment for us.
This is a very big moment for us.
It was like, you know, we've had a few really good guests over the years, over the last year. Like, but I remember, like, I suppose I should now confess the time we put out the video we were talking about you. Like, I kind of was bit to kind of go, I wonder will they see it.
Yeah,
and the fact then you followed up
on. Yeah, I can't remember if I got sent it or if I seen that I got tagged in something or whatever. But I normally like when I get tagged in things, I go through like my tags and stuff because I'm curious. Because I mean, a lot of the times it's just shite, but some of the times it's actually like, you know, something I want to see, and yeah, I was quite happy.
To be fair, I was still that could be a TV show on its own. Fucking Scotty versus Donkey.
Fucking hell.
You and Robert Heaney together doing
D36 versus the Volvo.
Imagine me and him on like Scrap Heap Challenge or something.
Oh my
god, that would be comedy gold.
Hilarious. That would be class.
It would be.
You'd actually be probably somewhat out with a stick welder doing something. He'd just be bitten stuff with a hammer, going fucking work, would you? Fuck's sake!
I'd be on with stick welder with no fucking goggles or anything.
You're quite good with stick welder, are you not?
No.
I thought, but did you not put up a video on one side of the exhaust? Did you not weld an exhaust and one side's done quite nicely, and then the other side is literally pure pigeon shit? I thought you'd done that as a joke.
If you've seen welds that are good, it is not from me.
Oh.
I'm shit. Like, mine is just pure pigeon shit.
Does it hold?
Most of the time.
Ah, well, sure.
Sure, if it works,
Grinder.
you can grind it down.
People always say like, oh, grinder and paint. I'm like, nah, just leave it on show. It's just like the worst. Well, but the thing is, people look at that and they go, fuck me, what's the rest of the car going to be like? Holy shit.
Well, we'll get into that then. So, like, look, you've probably, I don't know how many podcasts you've done or whatever at this stage, but how many, you've been asked this about a million times, but I'm sure there's people listening to this that don't know your story. So, can we go to the start?
Yeah. As in, like, how the social media stuff.
So, you know, like, yeah, basically, where did it all begin?
Aye. Well, I mean, obviously, like, everything sort of led up to where I am now.
Yeah,
but
of course.
The thing that really kicked it off was, like, the oil, like, videos and stuff.
Literally, we're speaking about that off camera just before,
Yeah. And, pretty much, I bought my first Volvo like back in like 2020 or something, and I'd seen a couple of times about like running on oil, like veg oil, only veg oil at this point, and it was like, you know, the Top Gear episode where they run. Funny enough, they run a Volvo on it. Quite a while, an old episode, and then
like, we're talking maybe 12, 13 years ago.
And then Car Throttle as well. They did an episode with the
Auto Alex, as you were saying.
I can't remember what's the car. Miles. That's what the car's called.
400,000 on the.
Aye, and I seen that, and like at the time I thought, oh, that's interesting, but I never had a diesel at the time, so I just watched it as like any other video. And I got my first Volvo, and you know, that's when TikTok started to become quite a big thing, was during COVID and whatnot. And one of my mates has said to us, oh, you need to check out this hashtag. It was like hashtag D24TIC, which is the name of the diesel engines in them. Now, when I clicked on the hashtag, it was all Swedish lads, and it's similar to here, like Irish spec. Chopping the springs out, you know, tinted windows, big clouds of black smoke. And one of the videos I've seen, it was these boys, you know, driving on with a car, and then they drain the oil out of the pan, and then get the tub, and then they just pour it straight back into the fuel tank. And I was like, what the fuck?
So, not felt spec, but Swede spec.
Yeah.
Hey, they're nutters. The Swedes are nuts.
They are nuts. Like,
they're class.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Unbelievable. It's different boxes, similar but completely different. And it's mainly all old Volvos across there. And I seen that video and it tweaked in my head. I was like, I need one of them. I need one of those engines. Like that, I have to have one. And it was probably about 2 years later or something. This diesel Volvo came up cheap. It was like a saloon one. Looked rough as out. Some 85-year-old was selling it. And I was like, right, this is my chance. I can get a diesel one. So I went and bought it.
So is vegetable oil...
Just to break the fourth wall. On the way up here, you got a phone call saying you'd left your keys behind. Bearing in mind, we left you in Enniskillen.
Yes.
The boys that were in Enniskillen you were with have now driven to my house.
Yeah, I know. They said, yeah, we might as well have just fucking driven you there.
Yeah. Only we had to go get you.
Yep.
Then bring you back.
Yep.
And then they've come up here now. And then they've jumped in with a pod. We ended up doing... Actually, to be honest, what they were talking about was actually funnier than what we're going to be talking about.
If you get a TikTok and you wonder who the fuck the people are, we don't know.
And
Scotty doesn't even know.
But anyway, so it's funnier than what we are going to go back to talking about, probably. So, but anyway, back to the vegetable oil.
And to be fair, he's a complete natural in camera.
Hey,
oh, he's funny like.
Anyway, vegetable oil.
Yes,
that's what we're on about.
Scotty, so is vegetable oil? You went into the shop. First thing you did after the Volvo.
Yeah.
Is it any cheaper back then even than diesel?
That was January 2022, so it was cheaper. It was like less than half the price.
Yes.
And so I just bought loads, and I thought, it'll be funny just to film it, because I just thought, why not? And I don't know if there was a TV program on in the UK, and it was these Scottish guys all with fucking Tourette's, and one part of it, right, this was the sound that I used on TikTok, and one part of it's just this guy fucking screaming about oil on the road, and I just thought, I'll just stick that on. Like, didn't even think anything of it. I didn't even think the video would do well. And I literally just
Did you have any following at this point?
Like 2,000 followers or something.
So like,
yeah, it's just
for some people, you had a brave and decent following.
Yeah, 2,000 on TikTok.
You had a couple of people that maybe were interested in what you were doing at this point.
Yeah,
I thought you were going to say, I had 80,000 at this point.
No, 2,000. And then I just filmed myself putting the oil in, and then turn the key on and that, and then fucking the video got like, I don't know, maybe nearly 1 million views or something. And I was I was thinking that was easy. And then I just kept doing it, and it just kept going and going and going. And like, obviously I learned about the black oil and stuff as well. And the Ukraine war kicked off around, I think it was February 2022. And
yeah, it was.
Yeah, and they're a huge exporter of like seed oils and stuff. And with that going on, the fuel prices went through the roof, and then also seed oil prices went through the roof, and so it got to the point where it was more expensive to buy veg oil than diesel, and with diesel at the time being like £2 a litre, I was like, fuck this. And so I started recycling like the used veg oil. And then one day I seen this video of this guy in America. He's a friend of mine called Anthony, and he had like a filtration system for using like black oil.
Yes.
And I was like, fuck, I need to start doing this, because it's way easier to get black oil than it is
go to
veg
any
oil.
mechanic or whatever, as long as they're not
Yeah.
tossing fucking coolant in it. Like,
aye. Well, there's ways of you use like funnel tanks to separate water from it and stuff. So that's how I got into that, and I learned quite a lot of like the sort of filter and stuff off him, and then that's where it just kept going and going. And there was like so many like jokes and stuff on the videos of like that I'm gonna get taken out by America and that, and I just played with it, you know. I was like, all right, yeah, the Americans are after us, blah blah blah, just like, you know, to get more viral and stuff. And it just kept going and going and going. Now I'm here.
Now you're here in a shed in Mid Ulster talking about two tubes about it. Like.
Now I'm here hungover as fuck talking on a mic in a shed.
You're not the only one that's hungover today. I look rough as fuck because I am also hungover.
I feel fucking brutal. Like, I think
I'm alright, folks. Just so you know, I'm grand. I feel alright.
You know, on the sauce.
No.
I don't know if we're the two smart ones and he's the idiot, or if
right now I feel dumb, but last night was pretty fun. So
it was. Yeah, I wasn't in the same place, but
you're kind of like you said this to me on the phone as well. Like, you're kind of like accepted by us over here.
Yeah. A common thing that people have said here is that I'm the only Englishman that is allowed in Ireland. That's what they've said.
I was explaining this in the car on the way over. So it was like, you know, like, I guess, like, I think the rest of like GB mainland looks at us as just like a bunch of inbreds, and absolute idiots. Like, and to be fair, they're probably not wrong. Like, I mean, have you ever been to Bushmills? So like, but like over here, obviously, like
I hope you don't get kneecapped now.
like, you know, over here we've got our diesels. Like, everything's agriculture. Like, we're quite rash by nature. Just years of like living through certain things. Like, we're just all quite rash. And then like suddenly some English fella comes on and he's talking about like waste engine oil, and he's got a Volvo diesel that smokes like fuck, and everybody's just like, ha, he's one of us. That's literally what it is, because that's exactly what I thought. I was like, fuck, this man's just like, what's he doing living over there? It's like, is that like, you know, saying like, oh, it's like this fella's doing like waste oil. I goes, geez, that man must be from like Cross McGlen or the border or something like that. And I was like, no, he's English. I was like, fucking hell.
But the thing that caught my eye was like, how did you find out about, like, I know for us it's kind of like a big thing, or well, you go to it anyway, but the likes of Donegal or Easter Sunday at the port,
I'm not fully sure. I mean, you all see this, it's quite common that Scottish people come across and do it.
Yeah.
And with me living on the border, I know like half my mates are all Scottish. But I think Donegal Rally is like it's quite a widely known thing amongst the car community, even in like enough. England and stuff. And I think I said before, I consider Donegal Rally as sort of like the pilgrimage of car people. Like, you know, you've got to go to it at least once and experience it.
I think it's comparable to like a festival. You know, like, it's not, I'm not going to turn around and go, it's a Glastonbury for cars, like, but, you know, like, for instance, in Norway, they've like got Gadabel. Right. You know, like, you've got like the mad stuff, right? And like, they say that's something you should do once in your life too. Like, you've got all these other things that's just iconic, like, and like the way that like you've got like this entire, like, people talk about like the Donegal Rally and the actual rally cars and all, but like you've got this entire subculture of just, I don't want to say hooliganism, but
well, like it's sort of organised hooliganism, because obviously you've King of the Cone and you've Ferry's Yard and you have the Carton Centre, or the Rash Centre as you love to call it, Michael. But like,
prove me wrong.
You have everybody that, you know, their dog essentially that has a nice car drives there, and you know, you're stuck in traffic for ever.
But like, we live for that. Like, look at the port.
Yeah,
we live for just going and sitting in queues and then complaining about it.
Yeah, one thing that's very comparable is like, a lot of car people are envious of like countries that are less restrictive and stuff with the car scene, because, you know, you can get away with doing more dangerous things. And Ireland obviously is very close to the mainland UK, and for reference, I've went drifting before in like England, and like, fucking hell, the amount of shite that you've got to do in terms of safety things, and, you know, you're not allowed near the track, the people have got to wear helmets, blah blah blah, you've got all this crap. You come to Ireland, right, and you go to these different yards, you've got people hanging out the windows, you've got people, there's like 14, 15-year-olds driving these, the first IS200 I ever got in, right, they pulled me in, they'll probably watch this, they pulled me into the car, like, I was walking down the row of cars, trying to find a mate of mine who was different, and these two young lads, they had cowboy hats on and stuff, and they went, get in the back of the car. I was like, all right, and we got in, right?
Don't hurt me.
So I got in, and I think I was drinking, like, and these two young lads, right, they're waiting to go on the different yard. They're both drinking bottles of beer, and I went, how old are you? Like, and one was 14 and the other was 15. I was like, what the fuck? And then when you got out into the yard, everyone's like out the windows, like slapping each other's fucking hands and stuff. There's no helmets in sight. None of them were wearing seatbelts, right? That's not me saying against it. That's me saying that this is very fun. You don't get anything like that.
As Donkey would say, health
and safety.
Health and safety
was there.
Yeah, it's, to be honest, some of it's fucking lawless. Like,
but it's all at their own risk, so they choose to do that.
But I am an avid believer in stuff like that. If you're going to take risks, I don't think there should be any rules against it. I think if you fucking hurt yourself, then you're fucking stupid.
So you've been to Germany, haven't you? This is like, kind of, it's not off topic, but just when you say that, like, I was in a factory there in Germany not that long ago, and like, nobody's wearing high vises, nobody's wearing, like, you know, like, like hard hats inside a factory, like whereas we're around here, like you walk in, you need everything. And in Germany, it's literally a case of, it's like health high vis, but why would you need a high vis? Oh, in case you get hit by a forklift. But why would you walk in front of a forklift? You know, it's like, and their idea, the rules are the rules. It's like, watch out for forklifts.
Yeah.
So you have to watch out for the forklift.
I was about to say that. Now people might hear that at first and think, "Oh, that's dodgy. Why don't they do that?" No, the reason why Germans are like that is because they think, well, there's no chance that the forklift's going to hit me because the driver's that good, and there's no chance I'm going to walk in front of one because I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
Germans are like polar opposite to like the place lakes of here.
Yeah.
They are so strict with everything. Every rule is followed and whatnot.
You don't break a rule.
No.
Don't like you have to walk on the footpath. What if someone strays off the footpath? Why would someone stray off the footpath?
When I was in Berlin, I was on them bloody electric scooter things, and there'd be like 20 people stood at the bloody the traffic lights waiting to cross. No cars to be seen. They won't go until they see that green fucking light come on. Here's me flinging past, pissed on the fucking scooter. Everyone's like looking at you, just shaking their heads and going, "Oh, stupid!" Oh. And you're like, "You're the stupid ones. There's no fucking cars."
You should see the country fucking Belfast.
Oh.
They just fucking walk on.
It's like zebra crossing.
Yeah, fucking. Who gives it? I think it's fucking daft. Like
I quite like the way Germany operates. It's like, you know, if you're going to break the rules, like over here, obviously the system's designed to protect companies from if they put saying, like for instance, wet floor. You see a wet floor, like the first thing you know is, right, I need to be careful. Someone over here slips on a wet floor, they go, "Oh no, but there's no wet floor sign." Put on a massive claim. In Germany, it's a case of, "But you've seen the wet floor. Surely you would know to walk like safely." It's just mental. Like I prefer that. Like,
well, I don't know if it's true or not, but like in Germany, say your working hours are 9 to 5, you are not allowed to be contacted by work after 5 o'clock.
Legally, you're not allowed to do more than 50 hours a week.
There you go again. Like,
but you can't even do over 50.
No, well, I mean, people will. I'm assuming people probably do it, but like, you're not technically supposed to get paid for it. So like, if you're doing mega hours, or like, no, like, why can you just not be more efficient in doing what you're doing? So German, like.
Yeah, I love Germany. Like,
I quite like Germany. Where were you at in Germany?
Flensburg. It's on the Danish border.
Oh, you're quite far north.
Aye.
I've been in Bavaria.
I prefer Bavaria. It's a lot more interesting and it's a lot more German.
But the Bavarians are kind of like the same way like a lot of yous would be up north. Like they don't see themselves as German.
No.
They're like, "No, we are not German, we're Bavarian." It's like, what's your nationality? That's not the point.
Yeah,
You know.
I annoyed a person from Bavaria once because they were speaking to me and they said, "Oh, I'm sorry, my English isn't very good." And I said, "Oh, well, my German's terrible." "Oh, I don't speak German. I'm from Bavaria. We have our own dialect." And I was like, "Well, it is German, like."
That's like someone saying to me, like, "Sorry, Master Scots isn't good."
There was, when the first time I went to Bavaria, I was in a little town near Munich, and I was in this bar and I was chatting to this guy that I was going to be doing some work with, and there was an old boy behind us and he was getting mad, and like the guy kept getting distracted and looking over and it was a World War II veteran and he was mad that we were speaking English. He was going, why are they speaking English here? Well, I don't know, fucking German.
Is that not just the point where you make a swift exit?
Going to Donegal and getting pissed at or whatever for not speaking Irish?
Not speaking Irish, yeah. Well then, I'm not quite sure where we're going to run with all this, but like...
Yes, we know, like... so you knew about Donegal Rally, knew about the port.
That's
when was the first year that you were over at it?
So last year I went to Port Rush, and that was my first time in Ireland. And,
seriously?
Yeah, first time. It was the first holiday I'd ever went on by myself as well, technically.
Did things just fall into place for you to come over, or did you get friends with ones?
I think I've got a mate who lives across here, and she... I was on the phone to her one night and we were just cracking on, and we were talking about me going to Ireland or whatever, and I was like, "You know what, fuck it, I'll have a look how much flights are to see how much it costs to come across." And I had a look and it was like £40 return. I was like, "All right, I've booked my flights, I'm coming to fucking Port." And that's how it happened. I mean, so like I've been in Ireland 3 times now, and like the hospitality here is fucking amazing, and like I've managed to make so many friends coming here, and thankfully, I mean, when I go to countries, I love hanging out with the local people because they know where everything is. They know all the best spots. They know best things to do, and I mean, it is kind of lazy because you don't really have to lift a finger that much, but it is way better.
It's real.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
real. Yeah.
You're experiencing it the way that they experience it, and so far, like every time I've come, I've hung around with like the local people, and it's been an absolute blast every time. This time, fucking hell, I think I've gotten very, very drunk most of the time, so a lot of it's a confusing blur, but oh man, it's been great.
Well, so we're recording this on Easter Monday. Easter Sunday's just passed. Like, what is it about Port Sunday for yourself on Easter Sunday that's as good?
Well, the port itself is good crack, but I mean, as you probably know, like I do get like a lot of attention and stuff, so I don't really get to enjoy the cars as much because so many people are trying to speak to me. But I guess it's sort of a good base of operations in terms of going to the Diffin, because they organise all the Diffin events for the Easter weekend. So essentially, it's probably, apart from like Donegal Rally, it's one of the other best weekends to come when there's so much stuff going on in one area. Which is probably the appeal to it, pretty much.
As well as that, like cheap flights. If you wanted to come over here, like the other place like you could consider going to would be Rally of the Lakes, which is away down Kerry, County Kerry, isn't it? But like, I think. What's the nearest airport? Is it Shannon or something? You call the airport down there? Or? Cork. Like, even at that, to then go from Cork over to Kerry is still a severe trek. You'd know people down there too. Like, I'm sure you'd soon get hospitality down there as well. But at least here, you can fly cheaply. You're not far. Like, even now, you can get a boat home and all that there. Like, it's all fairly.
Do the Irish try to kill you the most, or?
Out of every country I went to, the most attention I get is in Ireland. And like you were saying before, it's probably because of the sort of car group that I'm in, agriculture, black smoke and stuff like that. That's probably the reason.
Like the stuff that any average Joe can get. Because if you were into like Dubshed show cars, yes, you have a clientele for them, but there is like... Anybody that's driving a Jetta or a Mark 5 Golf or a D-Turbo, they're more than likely watching your videos. Whereas somebody that's building a 40 grand Mark 1 Golf with a VR6 engine on it.
I mean, from what I've found most of the time when I went to Donegal, Donegal Rally, it was something else last year. I went across in my red Volvo, and every single car that went past was flashing their lights, waving their arms, going like this. It was crazy. Every car in fucking Letterkenny and stuff was all flashing, beeping their horns, and God forbid you had to stop at traffic lights. The people would be all out the car, fucking running over. It was absolutely crazy. Like,
it's just mental. Like, people recognise the car. Everyone sees it. It's like, that's your man that does the diesel. That's your man. Everyone's fucking sprinting.
Well, at one point there was a couple of times where Adam, one of the lads that come up there was a couple of times where he was driving my car so that I could drink, like at the events. And we're at these traffic lights or something, and this young lass comes running up to the car, stuck her head in the window and went, "Oh my God, Scotty!" And then seen it was someone else and went, "Oh!" and then ran away. And like Adam was like, "He's in the fucking back," but it was too late. She'd already.
She was mortified.
She was mortified. So embarrassed. She like the look on her face was just pure shock.
Because she just seen you and just assumed it was going to be you, like, or she seen the car and just assumed it was you. Oh no, I died too. To be fair, like, there's no coming back from that. Like,
she screamed into the window like, "Oh my God, Scotty!" and then like stuck her head round and it was just.
And I went, "Fuck!"
To
be fair, I can't even like say anything else. I spotted you King of the Cone, and I was like, "Michael, there's Scotty."
Yeah, we have a photo of you and you'll not even remember.
Nope.
Like, you spilled half your whiskey over me, and I was more like, "Oh fuck, I've ruined his drink." Oh well, be all right.
I apologise.
I'm conscious we could talk about Donegal for like literally an entire podcast on its own, but I suppose like you brought me on, you're talking about the Volvo, like cars. Obviously, you're a car guy.
Yeah.
So what have you got?
What have I got? Oh, fuck. Like most don't run, but I've currently got
Know the feeling.
5 or 6 Volvos, I think.
Hold on, what?
5 or 6.
5 or 6 Volvos?
I think.
I thought you had like 2.
No, most are behind the scenes. I've got a scrapper drift one that I would rarely use.
Red.
I've got a one that I'm probably going to be raffling at some point that I got in November. I've got my 9.6.
Is that the black one?
No, it's green.
Okay, red.
I've never put photos of it anyway.
Oh, okay.
Nobody knows I've even got it. I've got it's not black, it's purple, the saloon one. I've got that.
That's the one on the BMW wheels.
Aye,
that's class.
Aye, that's a 960 straight 6 petrol. Imagine an IS200 but Volvo, pretty much.
Yep.
So that's the one I took to Sweden and stuff. Then I've got my red one.
Yes.
And then I've got another diesel one that I bought to put the engine into the red one, but it's fucked already. Drove it 10 minutes down the road and it fucking blew up.
Did you put up videos of that? No, because I do remember you. So is your red? The engine was in your red car. Is that yellow? Did you?
The original engine I painted yellow.
Yes.
I did the head gasket. I pulled the engine out, put it back in, and the block ended up being cracked. So it was all a waste of time. It was. I was trying to bleed the cooling system, and I revved the car just for fun, and I had the cap off, and I'm not even joking, it was like a fucking water feature coming out of the fucking coolant bottle. All the pressure was going straight back into the cooling system. I was like, that's fucked.
Yeah.
Well, you're both petrol and diesel Volvos, and you run them, your diesel ones in oil.
Aye. Yeah.
Would you still prefer diesel over the petrol, or
well, I mean, I think the petrol ones are more fun to drive.
Is that a B230 engine, the red block?
Yeah, B200 and B230s. Yeah, and then the letters after is like the turbos and all that shite or whatever.
Are you part of the Turbo Bricks page?
Yeah.
Yeah, some class stuff on that.
Yeah. There's a page I'm part of as well, Fast Bricks. They were doing like a car meet this weekend, but obviously I'm here instead.
Where would that back at home or where?
Yeah, it would have been somewhere down the country or something. But I mean, I love them. Like, I think they're brilliant cars. They're just all purpose and easy to work on. I didn't really know how to work on cars and stuff until I got them, and like my first head gaskets was doing one of them.
But that's how you learn. Like, there's no point in buying like a brand new BMW because there's so many sensors and so. The first car, like my first car was a 207, and like even last days, the engine bay is that fucking small. Everything's so squished together. Like, it's just a nightmare to work on. Then I got a 306D turbo. And everything was easy. Same as a Sierra. You can pull coilovers out of a Sierra in 20 minutes. Like, them old cars, there's so much room, there's so much space. They're just built to be worked on. They're just simple.
Plus, really, I suppose they're at a price where if you fuck up, fuck it.
Yep. Yeah,
and then you learn from your fuck up.
Are Volvo's still cheap?
Yeah, but they have gotten a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
My first Volvo was 400 quid. And that was MOT'd and everything.
Seriously?
Now, there's no fucking way you'll get one that cheap ever.
No, probably
no way.
Probably 2.5 grand now.
Yeah, well, the one I had, if you bought it in that condition now, you'd be looking at $1.5 grand. So it's went from like 400 quid to $1.5 grand just for bog standard 2 litre non-turbo POV spec Volvo. You'd struggle. Pardon me. You'd struggle to get one without an MOT for like fucking $1 grand. Like spares or repairs are $1 grand minimum now, and you used to be able to get them for fucking scrap value.
Yeah, for
I bought 3 or 4 for 200 quid. Fucking no way. No way now.
Same as all that.
Would those be prone to rotten, or are they still good solid cars?
They're mint for rust. They're absolutely class. I've never. The common spots for them is like the battery tray, the washer tray, because it's where the wheel arch is. That's it. Chassis are mint. I think past 1989 they galvanized the whole fucking car. And even the ones pre-89 are still fucking mint. Like, I mean, the worst one I've had was my hearse, but the hearse, it was coach built. So it's been rebuilt by someone.
It's just full of fiberglass.
Everywhere it's been coach built, it's just fallen off.
Yeah.
It's just fucked. So fucked. They're not designed to fucking be in service more than like 10 years anyway. So, but that's the only car like Volvo that I've had that's been so bad.
Sorry to take it back a bit to Donegal, but was there not something like, where do you stay at in Donegal?
Oh, I was just camping. I purposely didn't go to the the organised campsites because I would never sleep.
No, you wouldn't, and you'd have people like literally outside your tent, and like, hey, good intention, but we're all human. You are still a basic human like everybody else that needs sleep.
Aye.
Food and alcohol. So like, you know,
I've got a story about the camping situation. So I was with all my mates that I'd met at Port like before, and we were like up at Letterkenny, and we were going to be camping.
Yeah.
And we went to this garage, and there was a big open space next to it. And Dara, one of my mates, he was like, oh, we'll camp in this bit. And I went, mate, you're fucking mad. The main road's right there. I said, look, it doesn't matter what fucking time of night it is. If we're camping here, people will be fucking coming into the campsite at any time.
Yeah.
And he was like, nah, surely it won't be that bad. We'll just put your car at the back of everyone. Not even fucking 2 seconds later, 2 cars full of people pull in. So like 12 o'clock at night, 2 cars full of people that all jump out. Oh my God, Scotty, hey. Blah, blah, blah. And I look at Dara, I go, I fucking told you. We're fucking going. And
how would people, like, if your car was hidden, how would people know?
Fucking red Volvo. It's the only fucking red Volvo in Ireland.
Well,
okay, actually, that's a very valid point.
I've never. Oh no, I'll tell a lie. I did see a Volvo yesterday, and it was a diesel one, same as mine. But that's the only Volvo I've seen in Ireland.
I'm trying to think if I seen any Volvos yesterday. I don't know if I did. I seen a couple of old diesel Mercs, but not any. No, I don't think I did see any Volvos yesterday.
I've only seen one, and that was yesterday. That's it.
They don't tend to be that overly common over here, which is a shame because they're class.
Some boy was trying to sell me a red diesel Volvo in Ireland, and same spec as mine, and I was just going to put my number plates on and just drive it back on my plates. The car was sat on the boy's farm for fucking years.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you'll only want a few £100 for it. Do you know how much he wanted? Fucking £3,000. I was like, it's not even driven in fucking years. £3,000.
Could be seized.
And no, it's just fucking, it drove in that, but the price of them here is mental compared to England.
Because we don't have them.
Yeah, they're way more expensive.
I know one fella from around here has one. I know M606. And we were talking about this off camera as well, about the one in Ukraine. There's a fella here, that's why I was talking about the turbo setup. Yeah, he's a 940.
Right.
And it's done big Mercedes engine and a 3-litre Mercedes diesel engine. Fucking class. It's like, it's nearly the engine they should have come with. Like that high horsepower 3-litre diesel. Like. Oh,
the fucking D24s are numb as fuck. Like.
Yeah.
They're so numb.
Because I know I used to work with a fella. And he had one the same as yours, had a D24 in it as well, and he actually sold it to a lad me and Connor are friendly with, and then they covered it in like a Porsche livery, like it was Rothmans, but instead of Rothmans they made Rothlems. Got a bit of, and they done it up like that, and they took it to Goodwood and all that shit. Like it was really funny.
Big shopping trolley spoiler and all.
Big shopping trolley spoiler and all. But like that's even at that, that's a fucking rarity. Like I don't know if I've seen that many more about apart from his.
Yeah.
I love them.
So whenever they came in at 12 o'clock or roughly then, and I'm sure they moved on at some stage, where did you then move to, or did you move at all?
Just like a forestry track out in the middle of nowhere.
Best place.
And then like, oh fuck, this guy, right? I was sleeping in a tent, so like I could hear everything outside, and then the other lads they were sleeping like in their cars and stuff, and it was like I don't even know, like 6:30 or 7 in the morning or something. Bearing in mind we're all drinking at the camp the night before.
Yeah.
What's it called, potchi or hotchi or something like that?
Potching.
Something like that.
I'm surprised you woke up.
Oh fuck, it's so strong. Anyways, so in the morning I'm hungover as fuck, lying in my tent, and I hear these 2 people walking down the track, like past us, and I never seen them, but from the sound of them I can assume that it was an old man and his son, and for some fucking reason they kept repeating over and over again. The old guy, he went, "The boys are sleeping in their cars." And but he kept saying it. He was like, the boys are sleeping. The boys are sleeping in their cars, and just kept saying it over and over and over again. And like I don't know why he was so amazed, right?
It's not that amazed. That's the fuck you get the accent.
Exactly. Because I heard it a million times. The boys are sleeping. And it was like, eventually it got a point.
Scotty Fairlington could be a fucking interpreter for the Donegal people.
But like, the best part of it, right? Like, I was thinking to myself, I was like, no shit, they're fucking sleeping, fuck off. And he left, right? They walked down the track. About half an hour later, they must have been done with a walk, didn't they? But they came back the same way. Same fucking thing. The boys are sleeping in their cars. It's like, why do you keep repeating it over and over again? And he said to the young boy, he's like, go and wake them up. Go and wake them up. And I was like, what? Why?
Why would you just let them be? Like, they're not dead.
But for the rest of the trip in Donegal, because we're all camping, the first person that would get up in the camp would just wake everyone up by fucking shouting at
those boys are
sleeping in their cars. And like, you'd hear someone like, it'd be the morning or whatever, the boys are sleeping. But yeah, I was so fucked off. I was so hungover, and I could just hear him saying it over and over and over again. And I was nearly at the point where, like, I was going to get up and be like, "Shut the fuck up! Shut up!" Like, I wasn't laughing at that point. I was just confused and hungover. I was like,
you've got a good story out of it now. But at the time, you were like, actually, just fuck off.
It's one of those things where like, Mummy.
Yeah, exactly. The boys are sleeping. The boys are sleeping. And he's like, shut up.
Just every time he says that, you're just fucking stab wound. The
thing that didn't make sense though, he fucked off and then he came back and they did it again. Like half an hour later, he just did the same thing again.
It's probably someone nosy creator that was like, he just wanted someone to wake up and talk to him. I'd say that's what it was.
If he had the young boy there, then he had company.
Do you know, you're probably staying in there. I don't know where you're at. I don't know whether you were out in Donegal or whether you're back towards County Tyrone. But country people probably just somehow nosy out.
No offence.
That just want to know what you're doing.
You need to go to the Rally of the Lakes. I need to hear you doing a Kerry accent.
Man, there's some fucking accents I just can't understand here. Like you know, people come. The first time I ever had to say to somebody, "Look, sorry, I don't know what you're saying to me," was in Ireland, the last port. This guy, like, bless him, he was in the car, like, and he kept saying the same thing to me, and I was like, "What? You what?" And he said it again. What was that? And he kept saying it, and eventually I was like, "I am very sorry, but I don't know what you're saying to me." Like, I didn't even understand one fucking word. And the guy was blown away. He was like, "What?" And I just had to walk off. I was like, I don't know what he's saying.
But it's funny you say that, actually, because I tend to find with English people, like, you know, a lot of the ones I had to speak to be from further south. Whereas never, like, I've worked in like Lakes of Carlisle and all that there with people and around Cumbria and all them places. I don't even have to adjust the speed of how I talk. Now, bearing in mind I'm a fast speaker, and they just completely understand. They just pick it up. You're the same. I haven't adjusted how I speak at all. Yet you go down south and you suddenly, no one can understand you. So I'm surprised that you haven't been able to pick up on most people.
Michael was on the phone to you earlier whenever we were down in our wee wild trip down to get Scotty.
Yeah.
And as soon as the three words come out of your friend from Fermanagh,
Dara's mouth, I turned Fermanagh. Like.
He just turned Fermanagh.
I don't know. I just do it. I just do this song where I start that. It's not a lot.
I didn't even fucking realise the difference. Like, well, I think a big thing for people that come across here is, like, you know, when you're in England, you'll know all the different accents. Then when you're from Scotland, you'll know all the fucking different accents. And for me, with Irish, it's either I can't understand you or I can. That's it. Like, I couldn't tell you any of the different accents and stuff. And even, like, two of my mates, Rachel and Dara, they were like, "Oh, yeah, we've got a completely different accent." I was like, fucking sound the same to me.
I wouldn't have thought. Well, I would have said I sound more different to Rachel than how Rachel would sound to Dara.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, because they're from a similar part of the world. They're out west.
Like,
out west.
Like I said, for me, it's just it's like a linear graph of being able to understand or not. It just gets harder and harder to understand.
What's the cut-off point? Like,
I assume that's further south.
I've spoken to some people that were like, "Oh, I'm like, what? All right."
To be fair, there's people up the road there. That sound like that.
Like Gerald from Clarkson's Farm.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah. There's genuinely been some people here that have been the same level of that, pretty much.
Just golden at you. Yeah.
Just talking shit. You just keep saying yes. You're like, yeah. And they're like, what do you mean yes? Oh, no.
I mean, sorry, no.
Yeah, sorry, no.
I do remember being like in Scotland. I've been in a couple of sites in Scotland there, and there's a couple of just real proper heavy broad Glaswegian accents in it, and you're just like,
I just say Glasgow. I'm from Glasgow.
Aye, and it's proper. I couldn't even do justice to try and mock it, like, but it's like they're just saying stuff, and you hear them talking to each other on site, and I'm just like bearing in mind, like my accent, like we're Nordies, like our accent's not that far cry from like even a Scottish accent, like, you know, it's a hybrid of a Scottish and an Irish accent, nearly you'd say. And I'm like, I literally can't understand a word you're saying. Like, it's so broad. You're just like, huh? And I can understand most people because I speak so fast myself, but like, Jesus, a heavy Glaswegian accent, something else.
Aye. I'm not too bad with Scottish people and stuff. I'm normally quite sound with that because obviously living next to the border. I've worked with quite a lot of them and stuff, but Glasgow's one place. I just don't understand what they're saying. Like, it's just gibberish.
Are you back to the Volvos then? You got anything else other than just Volvos?
Oh fuck! I never even told you the rest of what I got.
Yeah, that's what I might do. Bring the fourth wall again. I don't know how to doctor that we keep talking about the camping, and then I bring in where I asked you about your cars, or we just let it flow. Fuck it, I'll figure it out in a minute.
I was like, I need to hear this man. Don't put that into it, but I need to hear this man say it.
So I think, 5 or 6 Volvos.
Yeah.
There's not, to be fair, like with me, Volvos, like I don't have a specific one that, my red one I love the most, but like to me, Volvos is like sort of just an idea. It's like a thing. Like it doesn't matter what Volvo I'm in, as long as I'm in a fucking Volvo. Yeah. So they're all kind of similar, but most of them don't even fucking work or anything. And then I've got, what else? I've got my tractor, like the Ford 4000, and then I've got do I have anything else? Oh, the Trabant as well. The fucking Trabant.
So I know one other person with a Trabant, Aaron from Retro Garage. Actually, go and tell that story. You were telling about us on the way up.
Oh fuck!
Because Aaron listens to us.
Yeah. So
this could be your apology.
I have met him technically, right? And I was cracking on with him quite a bit before we went. This is owner of Retro Car Garage.
Yeah, Retro Garage. Yeah.
And I was speaking to him a bit before I went to the rally. And
on Instagram, I said?
On Instagram and stuff. And I said, oh yeah, if I see you, I'll have a crack with you and stuff. You know, it'd be good to meet up. And now, when I was in Donegal, there was these 2 young lads, and they were shooting each other with water pistols. And I robbed one of the water pistols off them. And we were driving around, Letterkenny and stuff. And I had the water gun in the back of the car. And people would run up to the car asking for like a photo, and I'd just fucking squirt them in the face. And it was quite fun. Like, it was really fun.
Yeah.
And when we were driving to King of the Cone, and every car that was coming past, we were like, shooting them in the window and stuff. And they'd be like, oh, fucking putting the windows up. Because, it's summer, it was hot. And of course, here he comes in his Audi. And I didn't know what he looked like or anything. Because I'm sure, like, when you're on social media and stuff, most car people,
you just see their car.
Just the cars. Yeah. You never see the face. Yep. Obviously, he started doing a lot more videos showing his face and stuff, so I know very well what he looks like now. But at the time, I had not a fucking faintest clue what he looked like at all, right? And I was a little bit pissed. So here he comes down the road. And of course, I'm hanging out the window, hiding a gun, and he stops right next to us and puts his window down. He's buzzing to see me. And what do I do? Straight in the fucking face. Putting the window up and then fucks off. And I don't think we've ever talked about that. I don't know whether he's annoyed about it or not. I'm sure he'll be fine, but he wasn't very happy at the time, I don't think. But yeah, that was the first time I met him.
At least the first time we met you was we were dry.
Yeah. You're lucky. I don't know if I had the water gun at that point.
No, just like a tumbler of whiskey.
Yeah. I did have the water gun at some point there because I squirted people at King of the Cone and stuff. So you are lucky.
You should make that a
Well,
regular
you threw
thing.
your drink over me, but sure, that's all good.
Well, sorry about that.
You should make that a regular thing.
Oh yeah, but like I want to get a really good one this time, like a super soaker. Because that one was just the little like 1 pound
pistols.
one. Yeah, just a little pistol. Well, this time I want like a fucking pump up one.
It used to be a thing we did years ago at the port. We all used to go about with water pistols, and I can remember having my cousin in the car with me one time, and there's this person, and they wouldn't let us out. And as we were like, I was trying to edge out onto the road, and like this group of girls drove by, and then they like shouted over to us. They're like, "You're not getting out!" And my cousin, like, just literally perfectly water gun out the window, bang, got one of the girls shouting in a square between the eyes. I was just like, oh, you couldn't have done it. You tried, and I was just. It used to be the thing for us to run about the port with a water pistol, and the police kept taking them off you.
Oh,
yeah.
See, the thing is with a water gun though, it's at the level where people can't get really mad if you're squirting them. But I think a super soaker is a bit like, fuck you, you're soaking wet now.
It's like literally like the Tasty Dubshed boys that we actually were with us on Saturday. Recording the podcast as well. They have these number plates, and like literally the podcast is called after one of them. His nickname is Tasty, so he's a number plate saying Tasty. The other lad just happened to have a number plate saying Dubshed. So literally at Donegal last year, this is how their whole thing started off. If a nice car went by, they held up a number plate saying Tasty, and if a bad car, not a bad car, but like something rash or something drove by, or even just like the police drove by, they held up a thing saying Dubshed. People would start on them. Really? Yeah, it's just like, so you're saying like a water pistol, people not really care. Some people have really fragile egos. They just go fucking mad.
I did have some people get very mad at me, like to the point of like I thought they were gonna like fucking start on us and that. Over a fucking water
pistol. Like it's a fucking water pistol.
Just a bit
water pistol. Like I think people just think you're doing that, like you've got a personal vendetta against them, when the reality is you've just went.
Some people as well thought I was only doing it just because I thought I could get away with it because of who I was. But I was thinking, well, if somebody retaliates, then I'm asking for it. Like, come on, like shoot me back.
Super soakers needed for this year, Donegal, then?
Possibly.
I want to bring like a heavier water gun, like a bigger one.
If I see you, I'll be fucking avoiding you.
Yeah, you better. Because if I've had a drink, anyone is fucking a target. Like, and I want one that I can shoot people from far away with. Because that was the problem. The range, you were in like traffic, and there'd be cars on the other side, and you'd be holding it up, trying to shoot up. So I did get people but I want one that you can, like, properly send a jet of water like really far. I think it'd be hilarious. I definitely will get beaten up.
King of the Cone, just shoot it into the divers.
Well, yeah.
That would be funny. The turbant then, they're not probably the most reliable thing in the world, are they?
No, they're fucking shit.
Well, then why did you buy one?
Right. Me and my mates, we were sat in one of their hot tubs drinking beer. And
that's how most good ideas start. Yeah.
Better than an ice bath, I suppose.
We decided we were going to do the Mongolia Rally, which is drive from somewhere in Europe to Mongolia.
Yes.
And it's run by this company called the Adventurists and whatnot. And the idea is you take a cheap car and try and get to Mongolia. It's like 12,000 miles or something. And you've got to drive through, deserts and stuff in the end. And we were brainstorming what the best car to bring would be, and we were working out the most reliable best car. And the most common one that they bring is Micras or Suzuki Swifts and stuff like that.
Can't kill them.
Yeah, just impossible to kill. You don't need to do maintenance on them. They're just bomb-proof. And we were talking all these ideas of maintenance and what that we would do with it. And I said, hold on, this is shit. Like, this isn't even a challenge anymore. Why the hell would we bring the best car? Why don't we bring the worst car you can possibly buy, like that's still readily there and available? Yeah.
And are they still readily available?
Oh, you can buy fucking anywhere. Yeah, there's loads about. If you go to fucking Eastern Germany, holy fuck, everyone's got one.
And are they like a communist car?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
They were made in Eastern Germany when the Soviet Union
occupied
them, and all my mates were like, oh, what would that be? What would the worst car you can buy be? I went, I know exactly the car, Trabant. And they were like, what the fuck's that? And I showed them.
I'm kind of going, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, and they were like, yes. To give the viewers a basic explanation of it, it smokes as much as like an Iraqi oil fire. It's got 26 horsepower, 2-stroke, 2-cylinder, 600cc. It's loud as fuck. It sounds like a ride-on lawnmower. It's such a heap of shit. It doesn't have radios, obviously. The washer for the wipers is a hand-operated pump. It has one wing mirror. What else?
Not to mention it's left-hand drive.
Yeah, it's
so you're going to be starting off from the UK, I'd imagine.
Oh, that's no problem though. Yeah, I'm used to driving fucking anything anywhere. But and then what else? I think like heaters and blower motors, non-existent. It's got nothing like that. It's literally just a shell of a vehicle. Yeah, just wear a coat. And then in the desert, unlucky, you are going to be sweating your tits off. Yeah. They said one big thing is when I was reading on the forums and stuff about people that have done it in the past, they said the best car you can possibly get for the rally is a Nissan Micra with aircon, because when you're in the desert, right, you do not want to have your windows open because all the dust is blowing into the car.
Yep.
Well, when your vehicle doesn't have aircon and it doesn't have any sort of blowers or whatever, you will fucking have to have the windows open. So we're pretty much going to be full face masks, Shemag with goggles in the desert, just so that we don't sweat our tits off. So it's going to be awful. It's going to be the worst drive ever. I can't think of anything worse than doing that.
But you're doing it anyway?
Yep.
And have you got like a spare engine or anything lined up? Like, what happens if you get stuck in the middle of a desert?
So we're going to have to bring a support vehicle, and that support vehicle is going to have 2 spare engines.
Is the support vehicle going to be a Micra?
No, it's we've got a lot of discussion to do with the people running the challenge, but basically one group of people took a Trabant before and they got as far as Turkey and they had to give up.
I mean, where are you starting off from? London?
Somewhere in Europe. Mal, you think Turkey's far? Turkey's only 3,500 miles away. But Mongolia is 12,000.
Oh yeah. Mongolia.
So,
Mongolia is what, between China and
it's China, just north of China, pretty much between China and Russia.
Oh, that's it. Yes.
So between China and Russia. That sort of challenge. What cost are you talking about to do something like that?
Right. Well, if we did it with just the Trabant, it's going to cost. We budgeted be about 10 grand or something to do it.
But that's between what, 4 of you?
Three people. But
$3 grand each. The memories you get out of that's worth it alone.
Well, we're currently in talks with this company that we did the South Africa drive with, and they've sort of agreed that they're happy to do like a sponsorship, and they're providing a support vehicle and stuff. And we've budgeted with a cameraman, it's going to be 27 grand.
That's a few pounds.
Yeah, but that also accounts for going through various different all the stands, so like Uzbekistan and fucking Kazakhstan and stuff, because the people sponsoring us, they're a telecoms company, and they want us to visit those places so that we can stop off and do like client meetings and stuff. And visas alone is going to cost $3 grand.
Yeah, I was going to say, so get in around that everywhere, like that's going to be tight enough going.
There's 5 people, and on average the visas cost £100 per person per fucking country in that area. So it's like $3 grand straight away off the bat, just for visas. And then you've got fuel for both vehicles, you've got the maintenance for the vehicles before we do the rally, you've got to buy the Trabant, and then you've got hotels maybe, and then various other bills.
Well, how long
fucking nuts.
Roughly would that take?
2 months?
Month or 2.
Yeah,
about a month or 2.
Not to mention the day/nights you might spend having to put another engine in.
To give you perspective, right? Now, My Trabant, I think, is probably one of the worst Trabants in the world as well. It's so shit.
That's so fucking hell.
It's like Trabants are the worst car, and I think I've got the worst Trabant. Like me and my mate, just as a laugh, we got the wheel arch on each side, and we were lifting it, and we noticed that the entire body was like coming off the suspension, and so the steering column would stay where it is, and the whole dashboard was like moving up and down when we were lifting the car. So like I think the Trabant is completely fucked. The engine's currently seized, but I bought it in Hungary, and I got as far as Berlin, which was 12 hours, and then it conked out. I had to leave it there for 2 months, and then we got it to Flensburg, where I was staying over Christmas and that. And it's only a 9-hour drive from Flensburg to Calais, and I was like, fuck that, we're not taking the motorways, we'll go the back ways. So it was supposed to take 20 hours to drive, which isn't that bad, you know, you'll do that in 2 days. Well, it took us a week to do it, because the Trabant broke 25 times.
Fucking hell. That's even more than his Sierra.
Yeah, 25 times in what should have been a 9-hour drive. So that's like, you know, top of England to bottom of England, and it took us a week.
Holy fuck.
So yeah,
You'd as well be in the horse and cart.
You'd be as well swapping cars. You'd be as well taking 2 or 3 support vehicles. You said 2 or 3 support vehicles. Just get one of them Eastern European, like big long
You might need
trailers.
a sport lorry.
Well, the longest we had to tow it was 4 hours, and that was like the last bit before the Calais like ferry.
And who do you know out there to tow you?
Oh no! So I had my Volvo across with me because I drove to Germany for Christmas.
Yes,
and I had to get my Trabant and Volvo back. So my mates flew out to help me get the vehicles back and stuff. Yeah. So they were towing me.
That's not so bad. I was just assuming that you
just on a fucking rope, like, you know.
Scotty, do you have a day job to be able to do all this, or is it now you've went full time?
Just full time
doing whatever you're doing.
Yeah,
that's the dream. That's the dream.
It's good fun, like. It is good fun.
That is class. You're literally just living, like, and that all stemmed from just literally doing idiotic stuff.
Start off with just sticking fucking oil into a fuel tank.
Well, so how long did it take then for you to go full time? Like,
so about a year and a half ish.
That's not long.
No,
that's happened very, very quickly.
Well, like for the likes of yourself being massive on TikTok, is it mostly then through TikTok earning, or is it mostly just other things and opportunities you're fit to do?
From the money that I make, like the biggest money maker is like the competitions and stuff that I do.
Okay.
And I'm going to be working in, I'm not just going to be doing vehicles, I'm going to be doing experiences soon.
Okay.
Which we're currently working on at the minute. The first trip is a 2-week trip in Mexico with a 1979 fucking Camaro. It's partnership with these people called Rust to Rome.
Yes.
I don't know if you've heard of them.
I've heard of them, Rust to Rome.
I'm friends with the guy that runs it, and
seriously?
Yeah, guy Marco, and he does Rust to Mexico as well, which is like a 2-week trip in an old muscle car.
Where do you start off at? Like,
somewhere in Mexico.
Oh, so it is just through it's not like you're going over the border or anything like that? No.
Yeah. So we're going to be, that's one of the first things we're going to be raffling off as an experience. So there'll be 3 winners, and those 3 winners will do a trip in England, like UK, and that's sort of, one of them is going to be picked to go to Mexico. It's basically so that if I get free, like, you know, if like you're not going to want to be stuck with an arsehole for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So essentially, 3 people win, and like whoever's
the hardest and maybe the best,
the most suited for it, will be picked to go to Mexico, essentially.
Because you'd want someone, to be fair, you'll want someone for a trip like that. Although it's the best, although you can argue it's anyone that maybe enters for that kind of would be somewhat, I guess, a bit rugged. You'd want someone that kind of has half an idea mechanically, and also they're going to know it's going to be warm, it's going to be sticky, they're going to want to maybe put up with that.
You're in a 1970s car with no aircon in fucking Mexico that's going to be like 40 degrees. You need to be with someone that isn't going to, you know,
completely.
You don't need a car.
You don't want to wet wipe.
Yeah, exactly. Because it will be very.
It'd be tough enough, like.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's an organised event, and you're with a group of other like people in muscle cars. But at the same time, you know, I don't know if you've ever been in a car with no aircon at like fucking 40 degrees, but fuck me,
I've been in one at 23 degrees, and I was a yapping cunt.
I've been in a tractor with no aircon at 29 degrees. Yeah, it's tough enough going.
It is tough going. Like, it separates the fucking boys from Men? Because you are sweating your tits off. Like,
100%. Both drawn silage, both doors open in the field just to try and get any form of wind, and then you're getting blown in the face by grass because the grass is so dry. It's literally like pure hay coming at you and flying at you.
Well, like, was that a nice conversation with your father? Considering, I think you said you'd worked with him before.
I was working with him. Yeah.
Whenever you decided no one going full time on your own thing.
He was buzzing.
Oh, well,
he
happy
was
days.
Buzzing,
Then.
like, he's all for it. He loves
class,
it.
actually.
Oh, here you couldn't beat that with a big stick.
That's class.
And
I was keeping an eye on the time with your phone. I was just looking from here, like.
I've been watching. That's
are you? I was just sort of like glancing over.
Roughly 10 minutes before you better hit the road.
Oh Christ! Jeez, we haven't even scratched the surface.
Fuck.
Right, you said you'd a couple of things. Well, finish that off a bit, Rusta. You said you'd a couple of things you wanted to ask us as well, or do we not have time to fit that in?
So that first video that I seen you doing.
Do you want to finish off the Rusta Rome thing or have we finished it?
Yes. The first video that I watched of you two, when you were talking about me and Donkey, right? You did an impersonation of Donkey, and it was quite good. And then you tried to impersonate my accent, and I was like, "What the fuck? It fucking sounded nothing like us."
I can't do accents.
See in the cuff on the microphone, I was like, I'm not even making a dick out of myself. He's alright to make a dick out of himself.
I'm happy to make a dick out of myself, but fuck, no.
Well, I was going to say I wanted to hear you trying to impersonate me.
I want to hear you trying to impersonate me.
Yeah, mate.
I can't.
Well,
I can't do accents. Like, go ahead, go Connor. You're better at accents than I am.
am I? Fuck no. So I've worked over in Norfolk for a summer, and the lad I went over with, he was from basically Glens Bantrim, so he had quite maybe a bit more of a stronger accent than I did. But see him going to Mackey's to try and order, he had to be like, all right, can I have a look? Can I have a large Big Mac meal, please? What drink do you want with that? Coke Zero. And it was always Connor and Paul. That was, well, I'm not saying anymore because...
Can you not? Try it, go on.
Go on.
Say something, try and repeat back to him, go on. Go on.
Do I have to say it first?
Say something there, actually.
Say, I was going to take me Volvo to Donegal Rally.
I was going to take my Volvo to Donegal Rally.
That's fucking Yorkshire. You alright, love?
There was a story I was going to tell you, and this is about Donegal, right? So next year, fucking Dara's got a Reliant Robin. And
oh God.
I said to him, I was like, look, if you fix that up and get it ready for the rally next year, I'll sack my Volvo off and I'll take the Reliant up to Donegal. And I've had a Reliant Robin before, right?
You did have a Reliant Robin before.
And it was just a shell, right? There was nothing to it.
Was this the black one?
Aye. And now
the one you drove the tractor into.
That's the one. So it was just a shell, right? And I did put a YouTube video up, but I had to take it down because the estate that I'm on probably would have fucking kicked me off. And so the car had nothing. Imagine just a shell of a car with an engine. So there's no seats, no doors, no seat belts, no windows, so no windscreen, no bonnet. No lights, no number plates or anything like that, just a shell. And so me and my mate thought it'd be a good laugh to drive it down to the pub. Now, normally every vehicle that we create at my workshop gets driven to the pub. Like, it's the sort of like...
Rite of passage.
Rite of passage, yeah. We'll drive it to the pub and back.
Yeah, we have that here. We have the certain road, the loop. We do, yeah, it's the same thing, yeah.
And so, before we set off, the radiator was pissing water out, and the way we found where the water leak was coming from, I just tipped the car over and like seen the leak, and I was like, well, we can't fix it. That was a stupid thing, by the way, because all the fucking the gear stick could just pull out. You had to like hold the gear stick in so that it wouldn't just pull out, and all the fucking gearbox oil come pissing out the hole. And it was creamy as well, so the all the pedals and that, all of where you would sit was just covered in creamy oil, so you were minging when you got back in. And so we filled the oil back up, and I thought it'd be funny for the YouTube video to piss in the radiator, so I pissed in the radiator. And now we were driving down the road, right? And it didn't have a radiator cap or anything, right? Well, obviously, fucking water gets super hot, doesn't it? Starts boiling over, right? So the water was pissing out the radiator out the top, and the fan belt. Sorry, the fan.
Yeah.
Well, all this fucking piss went into the fan straight up, right? Well, what did we not have on the car? A fucking windscreen. So me and my mate got absolutely fucking covered in my piss. And like, we got fucking soaking when we were driving down, because we were driving like 40 mile an hour or something. We got fucking soaking. And I went, that's my fucking piss, isn't it? And he went, yep. And I went, well, it's fucking too late to do anything about it now, isn't it? So we went to the pub fucking covered in piss.
Warm piss? What was
warm piss.
What was the crack with it? I remember seeing some, I don't want to say drama because that makes me sound like a knob, but the previous owner of that car not start giving you a lot of shit.
He was a fucking dick, like.
You tried to put gull-wing doors or something on it, didn't you?
So, no, there was already gull-wing doors on it. Basically, long story short, this guy was fucking deluded, and he was lying to people saying that he was John DeLorean's son. And apparently John DeLorean had unfinished plans of making a freewheeler fucking DeLorean, it was all bullshit. There was just this, basically this guy was obsessed with Back to the Future, and he was also happened to be obsessed with Reliance, and so he made these weird creations. Now, I'll give him credit, one of them actually looked pretty cool, the rest of them were just scrappers. Now, this guy was just a, Walter Mitty sort of character, he just bullshitted all the time, and eventually he put on TikTok, I was aware of him for years, like, I knew about the story.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he got sued by DMC, 20 grand.
Fuck.
Like, for copyright, because he was marketing them as DeLoreans, like, he was saying, yeah, this is the new DeLorean, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, he got this huge lawsuit, he left his wife and kid, fled to Bali, came back, obviously still got this 20 grand bill to pay, and then eventually put out that he was going to give away all his cars for fuck all. Obviously me being a stupid cunt with my recovery truck for free Reliance, yes. So I went down and picked up 3 of them on the recovery truck, and I think he's seen it as his ticket to getting fame again, because obviously I come down with like my big following and whatnot, and so this guy he gave them to us for free, and he was convinced that we were going to turn them all into these like what they're called DeLorean things, which we were just like, oh yeah, of course, but we had no intention, we just were taking them because they were free cars. So we got them up, and then he just kept pestering me about it, and I was like, mate, I'm a fucking busy man, I don't have time to do this project at the minute, it's on the back burner. And then he just started turning into an arsehole, and then started messaging people that I knew, like even fucking trying to message my mum and that. And at that point I was like, right, I'm fucking sick of this cunt, he's a prick. All I want to do with this fucking car is run it over with a tank. And it just went on and on. You've seen this stupid shit I was doing. And I thought it was quite funny, it was entertaining. The guy was a dick, and I was enjoying taking a piss. And but eventually something came up. He posted this like court document off the coppers, and I think he posted it thinking that it proves his innocence, but it was basically this document that they sent to him, and it said that they didn't have sufficient evidence to arrest him for he was being investigated for apparently fucking sexually assaulting a minor, and now him being retired must have thought, oh well, this proves innocence, the fact that I've been sent this letter. But to me that just says, well, why the hell are they investigating that? Why are they investigating that? And as soon as I seen that, it went really wild, and like it was getting shared by loads of people, and then he just deleted all his accounts instantly. And at that point I was like, right, I'm not bothering with him, like, I'm not even entertaining that.
I don't even entertain that.
And I gave the car away for free. I didn't even say where it went.
Want nothing to do with it.
Someone wanted parts for Reliant, and I just gave them the car. I said, come pick it up, you can have it for fuck all. So he took it, and then that's where the cars went. I was like, I don't want fuck all to do with someone like that.
Correct. I'm conscious we have to get you back to a boat.
Yes.
So finish off on what's the plan for Reliant this year in Donegal?
Don't know yet. It was just, that was an idea created a few hours ago.
This will be so.
You'll be the real Del boy.
But I'm just imagining, like, literally what can happen is you'll be squirting people with your water.
Mate, I'm going to get tipped over. Like, they'll tip me over. I said to Dara, I was like, do you mind if I tip it? He went, I don't really want you to, but you'll fucking laugh if I do.
That'll be a good story to tell.
Oh yeah,
that'll be a good story.
Aye.
Here, we need to get you hit the road. Here, seriously, thank you so much for coming on.
An absolute pleasure.
And look, we're only scratching the surface.
I need to come back, like,
please.
Oh, definitely.
Please. Next time I'm in Ireland, we'll give it a lot more time. So,
and we'll not forget your keys and all that.
Them lads can leave you here, sure.
Yeah. Just ditches.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Oh no, it's quite alright. I'll have to come back.
100%.
Definitely.
Lad, what about Scotty's fucking Donegal accent?
That was actually quite impressive.
He done that there, so whenever we went and lifted him,
because he was trying to like hide stuff from us.
Oh no,
he did say that.
This was, so we were on the way up the road to recording, so we had to go and lift him. So a wee bit of a day trip, and it was like, you know, we'd start saying something, you're like, oh no, stop, save it, because we've been here before, we've heard all the stories, and then we're like, yeah, ha. Whenever like we had heard it a second time, because obviously the initial reaction was gone, but oh my god, his the Donegal accent was brilliant.
That was fucking class.
He came out with it the first time, and I think we wet ourselves.
Well, he done it in the car, and like it was funny, like me laughing on the pod was still genuine laugher, because I was fucking pissing myself. But see, when he said it the first time coming up the road, it completely caught me off
because
guard.
It was so good.
I was fucking howling.
Like, I need to see that man at the Rally of the Lakes next year. Rally of the Lakes, just to see what he sounds the way.
If he tries to do a Cork or a Kerry accent.
I'm telling you now, they'd even try and pull a tourist. If they seen him, they'd be like, here, €5.
Do you ever try and mock the Cork and Kerry accent? I've been trying to mock Nathan, because to be fair, Dion talks fairly like he's bottom of Cork, like with Castletown Bear, like, but the Kerry accent's just something else.
I can neither confirm nor deny if I've heard folk have said we can understand you two, but we can't understand them two.
I would say there's probably people thinking the other way about as well.
I'm surprised people down there listen to us. You know, to make us out.
Nordy Spec's a big thing down there, as we were saying in the last pod. But
here, that was some crack, unreal.
That was genuinely, that was class. And look,
but here, no, that was unreal. The crack was had, and like it was nice we had the chance on the way up in the car to get the rapport with him, to get to know him a wee bit.
Definitely.
And even whenever you had to go and sort a few things out up in the yard, and I was, you know, in here for 10 minutes with him just on my own, the amount of knowledge about diesel engines and all that carry on that he has is unreal.
Right.
But here, biggest surprise I found, I was like, so, you know, do you prefer diesel or petrol? And he just went, I'm always known for the diesel, but I do prefer petrol. And I was like, I just don't like paying for diesel.
I mean, to be fair to any of us, I must tell you actually a story. What happened after that pod? So I took him up the road. We were chatting away about Ukraine. He was telling me everything about Ukraine.
Yeah.
Like, fucking hell, we had to get into that. Like, unbelievable. Anyway, I kind of forgot in that moment in time how well known this boy is. Like, it's. I was just chatting. It was just me and Scott heading up the road. I was leaving the boat. We were just chatting away.
Yes, we're just two folk in a car. Correct.
Right. The next thing then, I pull up. I'm driving on down the road and I overtake this Fiesta. And Scotty, he's sitting looking out the window and he goes, "Oh, we've been made." And I was like, "What do you mean?" The next thing then, this Fiesta like literally pulls right up to the window where he's at, and the passenger of the Fiesta is out with the phone. Like,
right?
Yeah, going like fucking video, and the driver's going, "There's Scotty! There's Scotty!" Then he turns around, comes round to my side of the car.
So where were we at whenever this was
happening? The 3
happening?
lanes of the M2 coming down the big hill.
Right.
And then the next thing then he comes round to my side, still filming, then comes back round till Scotty, and then starts shouting like, "Well, what are you over for? Are you over for the port? What's the crack?" And like, it's kind of, I mean, you have two cars going about 70, 75 coming down that big hill, like, sorry, 70 doing the speed limit, going down that big hill.
Lad, it's downhill by accident. You didn't touch the brakes.
And
it's a private M2.
Yeah, private M2. Coming down that road, and like literally, some boy in a Fiesta's literally trying to sit basically on my door talking to Scotty, and I was just like, this is fucking nuts. Like, this man literally, his boy's videoing him.
Did you get was it in that moment you get starstruck?
To be honest, because I was like, yeah, I know you're big and all that, but even
it's only whenever you get in them situations you actually realise how big somebody actually is.
And the next thing I'm saying, going, I have a camera pointed at my face, and the people videoing me having a fucking clue who I am. Like, so they're probably wondering, what's he doing with him?
Now they know.
But anyway, moving on. We still have quite a lot of stuff to get through here,
and apparently a lot of people like to hear us for a long time. So you're in for a treat.
So you're in for a treat. Before I do that, need to give a shout out to James with Engine Tables.
That's right, yes.
So we've been shit at doing this. We forgot in the Tasty Dubshed podcast, but then that was a full just podcast of the two of us, so I didn't actually give a chance to give James a mention. But if you do want your old blown up engine turned into a table, give James a shout at Design Crafts, because he's fucking class.
He is unreal.
He'll repurpose it for you, whatever you want. If you own an SR20, you probably have 3 of them and they've all shit the bed. Get them all made in tables.
If you own a Lexus, well then just buy another engine, because they'll
never blow up. If you want a 1GFE engine table, you're taking that out for another reason. Like,
they're just one good fucking engine.
One good fucking engine. I done some laughing at that. But anyway, moving on. Have you any big old skids or one wheel piles? I have fucking heaps of them.
Well, you obviously were at the port. I couldn't get to it. That
lineup of the 306s of the picture I took.
So
2 306s in the Zara. Unreal.
So Easter Sunday, the photos I seen, like, it's mad that Feldspec has become cult. Like, I know, like, yes, don't get me wrong.
Would you say it's become cool? You know, like,
years and years gone by, twin cams, Sierras and all were cool at the port. A line of twin cams. A line of twin cams would have been cool at the port in Easter Sunday, yes.
Still is.
But this was like the year of the 3 turbos.
Yeah.
Like Zaras and 306s.
Yeah. Completely agree.
Like, the lineups of them was just...
That sounds something diesely and aggressive taking off there.
It does.
Yeah.
But it was unreal to see. And to be honest with you, like, a Dubshed, whenever we were chatting to a few folk, it's funny. Like, people want them again.
Yep. Well, did you see Regal Competitions put up that?
Never actually. No, wait, what have they put up now?
They've put up West Coast Zara Blue.
I'm buying a ticket for that.
You may not even get a chance.
Is it gone nearly?
Hour and a half, 35% of tickets sold. I have mine bought. I bought them just before I get into the show.
Just a wee second, folks. There we are, folks. If the fucking payment would go through, I have... Yep, there we go. I bought 5 tickets.
That's about a advertisement for Regal Competitions that Eugene didn't even know he was getting, but that's where... You know, the best thing is our Kings put up on April Fool's Day, they put up, we've only went and done it, our best raffle yet, and it's a picture of a 306 on a say Alliance, and then click the link and it comes up saying haha fooled you or something along the lines, or don't be silly or something like that.
That is a nice car also.
And I was like, do you know what, boys, if you actually monitored how many people clicked the link, you would probably turn around and go, fuck, we probably should buy one of these, we would probably make good money off it.
Well, there you go. I've just bought 5 tickets. So whenever you hear this, when is the competition over?
Oh, like a week from now. So maybe...
Hopefully I've won a Zara.
It is nice, but...
So, if in my watch new in the next podcast...
I've won a Zara.
And if I haven't... Oh. Shit one. I'm getting more excited for that. Like, I would only buy a ticket for like a Chaser or a Type R.
Or a Twin Cam.
No.
I don't even buy them for Twin Cams anymore, but I used to.
Like, for a Chaser, yes, but I have just got overly excited to buy 5 tickets for a Zara.
I'm telling you, it's probably... Eugene will probably sell that. Like, that'll be sold out. That'll sell out in record time.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, he's probably seen a many fucking likes that...
Correct.
fucking our Kings got. And
probably. It was a smart move. Especially with all the hype, as we're just literally saying, going on from the port. It was a smart move.
Extremely.
But anyway, going back to a few of the other ones. So...
And see if that did end up winning that. Sorry, but the Type R may go back in the shed.
I would have, like, I think at this stage I said this in the last. Like,
Is that cool now?
Yeah.
You can get away with it.
Yeah, you could. 100%. They're no longer a young cub car. They're
a cult car.
Us boys will be looking back going, fuck, I couldn't wait to own one of them again. Oh, I'd still love to have a 405 parked in there, like.
405s are okay, yes, in my opinion, but there's just something about, like,
I just love 405s.
A big old skid, sorry. If I now again, I'm being ignorant looking, but Conor McGurran's 306 Kingfisher Green
is
one.
that HEM or something? The reg, isn't it?
Yes, so I took a photo of it. That is just deadly.
That's always been an iconic car.
It's not even that. Like, yes, it's iconic and all the rest, but like, again, a Stone Mint 306 done nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Put the horn on.
Well, I wouldn't want to say that. You know, I don't want to offend anybody in any church, but yes, it probably would.
But to be fair, yes.
yes, it would.
So Reese Bruce sent me through. So we've been talking a lot about tractor pulling. Well, he's actually sent me through a video of truck pulling.
Is that pickups?
No, it's like actual
lorries.
It looks like a Peterbilt or something like that. There, I don't know where it is. It could be in Europe, but literally, it's a sled. It's not like them boys racing, but you want to see like the front end. It's literally pulling a wheelie as it's going up, like, because them things, they don't run off. Like, it's
would
not
it be like 1,000 or 1,500 or 2,000 horsepower?
Maybe 2,000 horsepower. Them things, like, fucking insane. But you literally can. It almost looks like the chassis twisting.
That much torque on them.
Yeah, literally, it looks like the one front wheel's sitting going hey, and the other one's going ho. Like, they're literally like as savage, like unreal. That's so. But I think I still prefer tractors to the trucks.
Yeah.
Although it would be cool to see, like, at the same time.
To be fair, I wouldn't mind actually seeing, just to be there and for a nosy, is, you know, the modified tractor pulling where it's just for once, because like, yes, it is obviously unreal to see the likes of your 7810s, you know, the Clark 7810, or even the likes of Andrew's 1455 and that with all the rake.
Yeah.
But just to see what it's like, you know, them
super modified
actual,
stuff. Yeah.
You know, with like you know, wee tiny wheels at the front, a big 8480 bonnet, or like a T7 bonnet or something, and God only knows what's under the bonnet. Speaking
of Andrew Morton, to be fair, that 1455 is absolutely unbelievable. That thing is just, that sounds class. It goes like stinking. See, when you're watching them, like, try and change the gears,
it's like poetry in motion.
Honestly, like, because it's like the half gears and all.
It's like watching James Dean do his footwork.
Yeah, correct. It's unbelievable. That thing, it just sounds unbelievable. What a tractor, like.
And it's the fact, it's like the old school stuff. And there's, you know, the way we talk about, it's cool seeing like the likes of D-turbos and all that, real mint and stuff. It's just cool seeing like a 20-ton dump trailer on behind something old school, and her having the power to actually pull it.
Yeah.
Now, would you like to be doing it all day, every day? Or probably not. No. But it's cool for a couple of loads.
100%. I thought we had a lot of edits and cutouts in our last podcast, but fuck me, see that storm going on. We're constantly starting and stopping. We've had to wait for the wind to settle. I've just went and fixed the door again. It's still banging. Fuck, it's not a good.
It is what it is.
I think by April last year, I was in a t-shirt.
Yes, but we had a dry February last year. So it was dry February, March, April.
Shade.
No.
May.
Well, yeah. May was good to begin with. So
May was
essentially we got the cows out,
was good.
And the cows were starting to nicely peak. They were used to the grass.
Yeah.
They were nearly sort of starting to hit like sort of peak and, you know, continue on. And then it was that wet that had to be brought in the house, and it was just like a cliff edge.
It's actually starting out. If you see me in the camera here, you can actually probably start to see me getting visibly quite frustrated.
Do you want to know something? Having, you know, heard about different things with farmers not there, no wonder some farmers are becoming depressed.
Oh, 100%.
Because it is such challenging conditions, and they just have to deal with it, because they're never going to get anything more or anything less for it.
I was up with a fella there the other day. You know him, but I'm not going to reveal any names. And he's down in the test. He's far too much he's far too many cattle because he can't sell.
Yeah.
He's running out of silage.
Oh.
Yeah. And the ground's that wet, he can't get the cattle out.
Same position myself.
Yes.
We're down in the test.
But you at least have a lot of silage.
Well, that's one thing.
You are blessed with the amount. Jesus, I mean, you probably still have 20 second cut line in the yard somewhere.
I actually looked at it. Do you want to know the last year we got to the very back of the silo?
When?
2016.
Holy shit. Yeah.
We got very close to it a couple of years ago. And
2012, I remember, was quite a bad year. Boys running out of silage in 2012. But
well, my father always said one thing, like, yes, we wouldn't be the earliest to cut, but it's always nicer to look at the mountain of silage and have it than have to look for it.
Yeah, 100%. Speaking of silage and old cases, to flip back, Connor Kelly sent me a video there recently of a fella, William Muir. Have you seen this? So he has a fleet of old school cases.
Not that I'm aware of.
It's like old school cases, so it's like 1056s, 956s, 885s, Fraser trailers, and like an old class 690.
Is that a video that you share? You reposted?
Yeah, I reposted it with the podcast page. Absolutely unreal. And then they have a 5150 on the pit. And your man's like saying, glad I'm good with the spanners. It's like, yeah, like driving a nice comfy tractor's all good in this, but at least I don't have any debt. It's just the fact, it must be Scottish, the Fraser trailers and all, but it's class, like, it's old school. I like the old Case and Fraser combination, that's just deadly. Like, that's just class. And there's maybe about 6 of them. And then the rake, and then also the 5150 with the buck rake.
Do you want to know something? See if you have that older stuff, right? And this is, like, don't get me wrong, everybody loves new equipment. Whenever I was younger, I would have been the first to be like, oh, if there was talk of us buying a new tractor or that, or even the thought of it, you know, every conversation you heard about it was, you know, you were listening with, you know, nearly a third of a year to try and find out what you could find out to see if it was going to be the case.
Yeah.
But see, now that I've grown up, obviously a great bit, there's something to be said. See if you have a real clean tractor, and she is a bit older and all that there, it makes absolutely no logical sense to want to spend 80, 90 grand.
My boys have said to me, now granted my Fiat still needs a bit of a work, like Fiat, the tin ones got to the cab, like that, just literally, that's just the way they are, and it is going to need touched up at some point. But I was already chatting to a fella there up the road who got his Silver Jubilee done up, 7810. Actually, interesting story in that one. He bought the Silver Jubilee when she was 2 years old. So she's an 1889 tractor. He bought her in 1981. The Silver Jubilees, he couldn't get rid of them.
So they had to paint them blue.
Well, he bought it because it was $2,000 cheaper. And $2,000 in 1981 is probably the equivalent, I don't know, probably like $7,000 or $8,000 now with inflation.
Yeah,
maybe not as much as that, but like, to be fair, £2,000 in 1981 was a lot of money. But they were literally giving them away in the dealerships. He took it, had it for 3 or 4 months and said, do you know what, fuck it, we'll paint it blue. Then nobody will know the difference. But they didn't paint it blue properly. They only did the blue on the outside. Okay. So inside the cab and all, she was still silver. Yeah. And I was in that tractor, Jesus, maybe 10 or 11 years ago, and I actually didn't notice any of that at the time because I wouldn't have the same knowledge as I do now. He recently got her restored there's another fella around here restores tractors, and he's got her put back to Silver Jubilee. And it's just funny because the Silver Jubilee is worth a lot of money now. And back then, so there's probably genuine Silver Jubilees about in the UK that boys don't even know they own because they've been completely resprayed, and they've probably never checked, or by this stage maybe the plate's fallen off them or something like that there. So somebody could be sitting with like a genuine Silver Jubilee and he doesn't know. I didn't even have that written down, but that just literally come into my head. But I can't get anything done to the Fiat until I either winter or have something to like replace it. And to be honest, I'm not in a big enough way of going that I need another tractor. Like, I mean, the Massey's there, but
you'd have nearly more tractors than animals then.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm a machinery man, like, but you know, yeah. So, although to be fair, it would be nice to have something else. Like when I had the Davy Brown, that was handy. Didn't need it, but it was handy. Something like that.
I told my father that you were thinking about a Davy Brown, and he went, "What the fuck is that tit going to do now?"
I would have an hour and a heartbeat. I would have an hour and a heartbeat. I actually hated them as a wean. I actually have still to now like look up like 1394s and 1390. Well, not 94s.
I didn't appreciate them either at the time,
but I actually quite like them now.
I'm still not really much of a fan of them. But funny, as you say there, I was again drawing slurry on Saturday there past, and Ronan Devlin or RD.
Yeah, that's funny. I thought you were going to bring up that.
He was moving a bit of slurry too. But he had Davy Brown on it. As far as I'm aware, that she has a Davy Brown case.
They have a Davy Brown and a case.
So we'll put it this way: with the amount of smoke coming out of her eyes, like that has definitely had a turn on the spanner.
Oh yeah. I would love like a 1590 or something like that there. Just about. I would love one, but even a 2-wheel drive one. But just getting to afford it would be. Just wouldn't really have the funds available to do that right now. So another one, I was just chatting to the fella and I said, here, do you want me to mention this to the pod? He goes, oh, tear away. So the fella I know does a bit of fiberglass, and he does like, in his spare time, he does like body kits and stuff. Fella Adrian Stinson. Recently he's been doing up a P100. He's been sort of sending me photos. So he bought a P100 there maybe 3 or 4 months ago, and she come with the Ford Sierra back end in her, but the way it was done was kind of a bit rashly. He has it all redone, fully stripped, fully sprayed, 2.9 V6 engine in her, right? The BOA, right? This thing's immaculate, absolutely class, right? This isn't the best bit. Anyway, to break the fourth wall,
technical difficulties
again. We should be calling this one technical difficulties and not the last one. While I was in the middle of describing that P100, the camera shut down.
Oh, sorry.
Jesus, Connor. The camera shut down. Anyway, that P100, as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by you, camera. Yeah, look at you. Fuck you, camera. He has a hatch sitting outside as well, right? He has taken the back end off the hatch, and because he does fiberglassing, he has made, like, kind of it fit around the back end of a P100 tub. So like say hatch rear lights and all, and like the way the bumper and all fits, he's going to make then an entire mould of that whole thing.
And so that got you thinking?
No, fuck, nah, not for me. But it's like a shorty. It's like he's taking like 3 foot off the end of it.
Right.
This would be a common enough thing, boys, and this would be a thing in England. Boys would do what they call the shorty. They cut the back end off them because there's such a long hang after the rear wheels. Boys would cut the back end off them and have basically a much smaller tub, and that's what he's for doing. But he's doing it with a Sierra back end, like literally, as I said, the lights and everything, and it's cool. Like, so I said to him, I was like, do you mind if I talk about this in the pod? He goes, no, absolutely, work away. So also, not going to say too much more, but I've been talking with him about the idea for some things with a Sierra too. Now, probably would never work in this country because everybody does them all up the same, but
that's because they're nice.
Yeah, oh, true. But I still have a couple of ideas of stuff I'd like to try out. So I don't want to say watch this space because it's not going to happen anytime soon because I can't afford it. But
watch the extended space.
Watch the extended space. Jack McGarry sent me a video of a Volvo racing an M3. That's fucking hilarious because your man's obviously behind the Volvo, or behind, and the next thing he just literally veers off track, drives through a fucking ditch, bounces up onto the other side of the road and cuts out straight in front of the M3, and it just says, this is why you buy a Volvo. It's just like, tank. Class. Did you see that Passat at Dubshed with the bonnet X and exhaust?
No, but I'll say why. So at Dubshed, when it got to about 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, I might as well have shut down. I was knackered. So if I'm thinking right, I just was flat out with working at home, and just I shut down after about 1 o'clock. So I was walking by stuff, so I had seen photos and videos of stuff from the actual Volkswagen shed.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, I missed that. Fuck, I walked by that. Fuck, I missed that. So that was basically the height of the Volkswagen shed for me in Dubshed. That's fucking class. It's ignorant.
What about that? Like, you're
Rash, but cool as fuck.
Do you know what? The Sunstrip says ignorant. And that's exactly what it is. Do you know what the best bit about that is? Like, that's rash, but see the actual welding and the pipework.
Unreal.
Yeah. So that, to me, is, I don't know the owner, but whoever done that, they must maybe be a welder by trade. So they literally, they've went and gashed their bonnet with a grinder and made it look really ignorant. But the actual welding on the exhaust, like, it's V-banded and everything. Like, it's properly, like, it's a proper, deadly good job.
I assume then that what they've done is it's about one bonnet's hashed, and then obviously
I'm going to assume the same.
Off, and then they just have normal exhaust. So it's just done for the novelty
shits
of it.
And giggles. To be fair, it is shits and giggles, and it's way fucking hard hitting limiter too.
Fucking deadly.
It's class. That, like, yeah, I'm all about that. Like, I know it's rash, and I'm talking. And there's me earlier going, yeah, do you know what? I'm kind of into my show cars. That's why I say, like, I kind of like the rash stuff too. Like, people walk by it and just go like. And I'm sitting there going, that's deadly. Like, that's class. And then
imagine that pulling the cattle driller.
Oh, boys, what?
With 3 bullocks in the back, by God, should be Reiki high.
And then what I also seen was a B5 Passat. This actually kind of annoyed me. This is a massive one-wheel pill. So this Passat, literally, they decided to start spraying the back end and spraying the sides of the car on the Sunday, in the middle of the show, during wind like that. Just
painting it. Sure, the paint will go everywhere.
Yeah, but sure, fuck everybody else. Fuck everybody else's cars. Who cares about overspray? Literally, it was really windy. The Sunday in Dubshed was really windy, and they're out spraying a fucking back of the Passat. Like, by the time I get round to the first time I seen it earlier on the day, the whole car was black. When I went back out and looked at it again, like, half the car was purple. And then I walked by the owner, and I think I overheard him saying, yeah, I've got 18s in the front and 17s in the rear. Bearing in mind it had, like, them extended, like, not rivet on, like, kind of tack screwed on arches, then bolt on arches. I'm pretty sure I overheard him saying, yeah, it's got 18s on the front and 17s in the rear for that Slavic stance. And I'm like, I don't know if you're, like, being unironically very funny, or if you're just an idiot. And I don't know whether he's trolling us,
okay,
or whether he is just an idiot. But don't spray your car at a fucking car show. Have a bit of respect for everybody else. Like, come on now.
Could you imagine if he was parked beside?
I would go mad.
It's one thing reeking a car, it's another thing overspray.
Oh, you can wipe reek off. Fuck me, spraying, that's a buff job, like. Assuming you get it off. And then I met a listener.
Okay, right.
So his name's Kieran, but he follows us on Insta as Daily Riley.
Okay.
He's asked us questions in the past. So he's really, really nice fella. I'm standing chatting to him outside for absolutely fucking ages. So I was like, obviously I have to give you a shout out. He was telling me a good story, actually. I actually can't, I'm pretty sure he said golf. Yeah, golf. It was a golf. He used to have a so no way there's a PD engine in there before there was a non-PD. You got the 90s and the 110s.
Yeah.
Well, he had a non-PD 90. And he said it, like, he said it was a bit of a heap, like, but he took it up to Donegal one year. And, like, there's apparently a boy, like, a couple of boys up ahead in front, and there's a fella, like, in a twin cam or something was revving, and then he said there's a fella in a Sierra was revving. And he was in his, like, shitbox, like, non-PD golf, decided to do a couple of revs, and apparently a Garda walked past him, and just as he was walking past, just turned around, just said, Jesus Christ, he goes, man, can't I even afford a PD 130? And just kept walking on. And I was just like, that's an incredible insult.
That is.
I was like, that, I actually don't know how I would take that. I think I would have just turned and drove home.
You would have cried.
Oh, 100%.
Your ego would have been pulled clean out of you.
Thrashed. But Kieran, real nice fella, so I had to throw it in the pod. It was great meeting him, and it's good to get chatting to people like that, like literally coming from the other end of the country, like. So fair play. Another listener, Dale, he's Minotaur Turbo on Instagram.
Yeah.
Did you see the Mini with the intercooler and all, like like it looked like kind of standardish Mini, a wee red Mini, but it had like intercooler and all. It's turboed.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Well, that thing actually won an award at the show. That thing's class, and it's deadly clean. And like you see, like all like the radiator and the intercooler and all, everything's like polished perfectly. Like
It's a mint box.
Absolutely, but he does drive it as well,
which is nice to see.
But we were walking out the show, and he sort of was standing, and I was like, well, congratulations anyway. And he just goes, you Michael? And I was like, yes. He goes, I'm manager. I was like, I thought that's who you were. I was like, and he goes, oh no, I listen to the podcast and all. And I was like, right, well, he definitely has to get a shout out as well.
Yeah, yes.
So like, you know, like we've got royalty. We've got Dubshed winning royalty listening to us. So to be fair, like half of them, us boys won as well. Like,
did you win?
No, of course not. My car's a heap of shite. My car ticks every box, but it's rash. Like, I have the crack in the arch. I have the engine bay is cleaner this year, but I'm still missing bits of the interior because I cannot get them. And then normally my car ends up breaking some, so I spend my money fixing broken stuff rather than running around paying over the odds for fucking cosy door handles. So like shit like that. Like, my car just looks unfinished. It needs a good finesse. It does need a good, like, even the rear spoiler and stuff, it needs all masked down and painted again. Like, there's a lot of stuff needs done to make my car. But like, to be fair, I didn't win an award last year at Dubshed, and my car was pretty mint for it, minus the door cards. So if it wasn't going to win anything last year, it's probably never going to win anything. Like, but like, do I get a little bit jealous of seeing others win awards when I'm like, I equally have as much done?
Of course you do, Michael.
Obviously, I do. But then I also take a look at their cars and go, yeah, I don't have that. Yeah, I don't have that. Yeah, see, I have that, but I'm still missing this bit. Like, the rest of them, everything's detailed to a T. Aaron Phillips won Dubshed this year.
Oh, I seen that there.
Like, I actually get quite angry when people say, oh yeah, Diesel Passat won Dubshed. Like, fucking, this is the way things are going. It's like, did you actually take a look around that car?
There's nothing untouched.
It's a fucking top mount turbo.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Like, on a PD 130. And then everyone was like, oh, the next thing you'd have to do is engine swap it. No. Why would you take out God's engine? Like,
well, to put it in a Zara.
Oh, well, yeah, true, to be fair.
Oh.
Yeah.
If I win Regal Competition's car, I don't think I would turn it into a drift car.
I don't think you would turn that into a drift car. Yeah, but like, yeah, literally, there's
you
not.
You could PD swap it.
See, Orange car, there's nothing untouched. Like, that thing is class.
Savage money spent on it.
Savage money. And you know what the best part is? As he said, I think I talked about this in like episode 10 or 11. He's not feared to start beating things with a sledge.
No.
So, like, you know, belt points. There's a page on TikTok, Old School NI.
Right, okay.
It's literally just like silage videos, mainly, of like, you know, classic silage outfits. So, look it up. It's cool. I'm surprised you haven't seen it, actually. I
probably have, but
I've reshared a few other things.
I've got a mic block.
Oh, right, yeah, fair enough.
And I'm freezing at the minute.
Yeah, you can actually see you're starting to shiver.
And I'm just wet.
This is another good moment, actually. Was in Macomb Steel, buying steel there last week.
Yeah.
So, in episode 20 with Donkey, I had mentioned Macomb Steel, and I had said about the list they have in at the back, you know, of like banned sayings. And it's all like the way all the sayings were written down was like the way people speak.
Yes.
So it was like, Don Owl Hacksaw is not cutting great, but it was like Don, Thon, Owl, Aul, Hacksaw, HECK.
Yes.
Is not cutting great. You know, like that's so it's spelt like that. It was absolutely hilarious. So I was walking in, and then I got up to like where you speak to Davey, and he just sort of said to me, he goes, "Are you the podcast boy?" And I was like, "Yes." He goes, "I have something to show you." He goes, "I thought it was you walking past." He goes, "And it was only as soon as you opened your voice or your mouth," he goes, "I knew exactly who you were." He goes, he's like, "You gave me an idea and I have something to show you here." And he goes into the back and he pulls out this list. And he says, "Since you done that podcast with Donkey," he goes, "and like you were talking about all this stuff," he goes, "I've actually started writing down like other stupid things I've heard." He's like, and I was just like, right. A few of them were quite funny, but one of the best ones I heard, like someone rung in and goes, "Do you hear any of the circular box section?" And that's the way he has it written down. Do you hear any of those? It turns out he's actually a massive car guy as well. He's in this in GTR. Yeah.
Right.
So and then so yeah, to be fair, like, and he's been sorting me out with stuff for like all these gates and all around the farm. To fair Davy McComb, fair play to you.
If you need your steel,
there's McComb still getting a good shout.
To be fair, I can't really say much because in my extended family, Hassans also supply a lot of steel. So if you need any steel, McCombs or Hassans.
Fair. Well, I've been using Davy because he's looked after me, to be fair. But I
can't really go by my brother-in-law.
You really can't go by the brother-in-law. No, you're. And the final one I have, which is another one-wheel peel, was something Donald Holmes sent me yesterday. So he shows me, he goes, "You need to put this in the pod, and you need to talk about this." And I said, okay. And he takes a picture of what looks like an old, like 1967 Jaguar. Mm-hmm. Right? Front end. Okay. I was like, right, okay. What do you show me here? Bit odd looking, but okay. Back end. Nissan Micra.
Right.
And I was just like, what? And then he took a video of him walking front to back. And it is like a classic, like maybe a Jaguar Mark II or something front end from like the 60s or 70s. Just turns into a Nissan Micra.
That's the definition of different.
That's a lot of time spent on that. But fair play.
How do you feel about it, Michael?
I don't know, because I really, really appreciate the workmanship that went into it. And I appreciate the unique points and the creativity. I just have to ask why.
To be fair, Jermaine and I said about the wee Nissan Micra that was sitting in Toon.
Yeah.
So I was going and getting more cubicle lime there today. And funny, I came across. I was like, oh, there is the wee Nissan Micra again, parked at the same place. There's Body Club Plate 1s on it.
Ah.
Yeah, like 15s.
Yeah, you got them.
White, yeah. Oh, there's my bedtime alarm. And I was like, oh, that's in P1s. And then I was like, should I, get my stuff and then drive on round again? And then, typical fashion of me, I forgot about it and then just drove home.
You should take a photo.
I will take a photo.
I do, because that sounds cool. That man's got style. What colour is it?
It's green, like a dark green, if I can mind right.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to say red. I was going to say red and Body Club P1s. That man's got style. Like, he knows what he's doing. But my car's red.
I'm not giving you a satisfaction, lad. Right?
Fuck you. Will we wrap it up, Connor? Or do you have anything else you need to bring to the table?
If Mother Nature's listening, please bring good weather.
Hi.
Hopefully, whenever you hear this, we're doom and gloom now, but like...
I'm so doom and gloom. I'm so doom and gloom.
Hopefully, whenever you're actually listening to this, that supposedly, according to the long forecast of weather, we're recording on Monday night, and supposedly by Thursday it's meant to start brightening up, and it's meant to be good weather until the following weekend. So 10 days good weather. Hopefully it comes, and by the time you listen to us on that Sunday, it'll be lovely. We'll be wishing for rain. And I've been not a chance. The ground's wet enough that you could run probably 2 months of a drought and we'd still probably be alright. Like, yeah. For funny, the last time this sort of happened, a lot of people were probably out in the ground trying to, put spikers and all into it, trying to get the water away. Yeah. And the Fermanagh men were the men that was fit to make the best silage that year, because that happens with me because it's so wet here as well. Like, I've said this, like anywhere when it gets to a drought and other people start struggling with the grass being burnt, I have deadly stuff growing here because mine's is finally going, heat, I haven't had this in about 83 years. Like, so whenever I get like a real hot spell. Would you know what happened 83 years ago, Michael? No, haven't a clue, but I'm sure the grass does. You haven't sowed it in 83 years. Wow. It's been 84 years. No, but like, it's just like, like, when was your fields last sowed out?
With grass seed?
Or reseed it, yeah.
I have no idea.
Turns out the fields that's opposite the entrance to my house, so the laneway,
Yes.
were sowed out 32 years ago, I think.
How often should you be re-sowing fields?
If you're being really picky, you should try for 10% of your ground every year.
Oh, that's a fun fact from Andrew Wright, isn't it?
No, that's just a fact that most farmers would know.
Oh.
But at the same time, it's expensive. You have to take ground out of action for a while.
Yeah. That's okay if you've got a bit of a surplus.
Very much so.
And a plough.
Not many people have ploughs. They just get the contractor in, because contractors, as I was listening to the two Johnnies today, at the end of the day, they're taking a big financial hit. You may as well help them out.
Oh, is there a new episode live today?
It's every Monday.
Monday, that's right. They have contractors on, haven't they?
You literally, yes.
I commented, but I for some reason forgot it was Monday when I replied to that comment.
Michael has had a week off, so he's not down with busy, he's down with the Michael.
I'm still busy, just having a clue what day it is at this point. I forgot they released on a Monday. I haven't seen. I haven't really.
You're like this here. You're saying this here. I'm not busy, but I'm busy.
Always busy, just not killed.
Oh, right.
But
we hope you're not killed.
I did. To be fair, I did comment under that.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I did comment under that, and then I sent a Snapchat across to Maura.
You may have gold hair, but by fuck, you turn into a goldfish whenever this mic gets turned on.
Swear to God, like I forgot that it comes out Monday. I haven't listened to it yet, so.
But here, just another wee shout out before we end things.
Yeah.
You'll notice that Michael is wearing a wee hat this evening, and as a grand gesture from Nathan and Dion, they gave us both a hat and a mug. We had fuck all to give them.
Yeah,
but
I felt so guilty. Like,
yeah, but
we give them hospitality.
We give them our love.
We give them our love. Yeah. That was such a good. That was a good recording. Like,
yes. Michael nearly gave Nathan a gate, but he didn't want it.
Fucking hell! Like, I actually put up the TikTok a couple of days
Nathan
ago.
would probably reply that saying, "Sure, you're making gates. You may as well make another one."
I actually put up that. There's another one we'll peel. I actually put up the TikTok of that, and it got shadow banned because apparently now using #diffing on TikTok gets you like wiped.
Because you shouldn't be diffing.
But it was in a private yard. Like, I don't get this. Like, there's loads of people having their accounts taken down. Like, and a lot of people on warnings and all that now. Like,
yeah,
a few of the boys, even a few of the boys from a couple of them group chats that were in, like some of like the top 16 boys and all, like they've all had their TikToks taken down just from like, you know, videos of them diffing from like maybe a year ago. Like, where does it end? Like, I get if you're doing fucking rash mangies up a road, like I get that. Like, you know, on a main road and someone's videoing it and you nearly take out a car. I understand that, definitely. Like, if you do that, don't be stupid enough to put that online. But, like, hooping at the top 16 at, like, King of the Cone or hooping in my yard, like, fuck odds does it make? Like, it doesn't, there's no reason for it to be...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, of course.
You know, so...
On that sad note, thank you for staying this long. It has been an absolute pleasure to get Scotty on.
Yeah, definitely.
And this, I don't know how long that's going to be, but probably going to be a long podcast. So long, in fact, since we last recorded that we forgot what we had talked about, to be honest. But yeah, so make sure, and if you're listening on YouTube, to like, subscribe, and don't be afraid to make a comment. We see them. We just don't reply to them. We try to reply to them, but we definitely see them. And on Spotify, don't be afraid to leave a question, which we eventually will see.
Yeah, it's true.
And we check the Spotify every month or two.
Yeah, we're up to like probably 2,000 weekly listeners at this point, which is pretty good going.
It's more than 3.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah.
We thought by this stage we'd have 20, but it turns out we've 20 with 100 the other side of it.
I am very, very surprised at that level of support, like, but you know what, like, fair fucks to everybody. We were saying this on the way down here. Like, we have a very, very good listener base. Like, a really good, loyal listener base. Like,
oh yeah, and it's deadly to see.
Deadly supportive.
But yes, follow at Limited Slip Differences on all socials.
Ah, yes, that.
And if you want to see Michael's ego and make his head bigger, follow Michael at
Michael Scullin _. However, I am trying to push the podcast page more, and I do need to stop worrying about my ego, because I post a picture of my own car on my own page and it gets like, I don't know, like 900 likes or something, and I posted the podcast page and it gets 27.
And you know what I am so proud of, and I am so it's so bad to admit this, and I admitted it to your missus. You put up the post obviously on Instagram, and then it shared to Facebook, and it was you cleaning the car. You need to clean it, and then I put up a photo on Instagram, and also went on to the Facebook of me driving down, and I'm beating you on Facebook like dick.
I put up that picture the day of me with the welding, and that I think's doing better than the picture I put up with the Sierra. So if you want more content of me welding, I'm not going to give you any more of that, because my welds are fucking shite.
And if you want to look at very old content, and then follow me at Connor.McGoo on all socials.
Happy enough.
I think I don't know how long it's been, but thanks very much for listening this far, and hopefully the weather gets better.
Yeah,
and on
correct.
that note,
best luck. See you there, folks.
all the best.
Bye now.